continue. Let's see, when we last left off, we flirted with, Dominic. Because he's the boy I'm going after. We also flirted with everybody else, but that didn't actually happen. We undid that fate. So, moving right along, torches are freshly lit. Everything's fading away. I'm also on a new setup. Okay, yeah, we did the heart-to-heart, now we're in the tunnels. We learned about the armor that was there. Oh, also, Sovi is here, and he knows, and I'm highly confident that he knows exactly where we are. we didn't, like, pass him in the crowd, but he did see us in the crowd, and he knew. Somehow, he knew. And then he went and convinced Shane that his mission to get caught on purpose was actually a mission to get caught on purpose, but to kill him and not gather information. Which, I'm like... It's still kind of confusing, but whatever. Alright, moving right along. Main entrance. As soon as we exit the tunnels, it's immediately easier to breathe. Sunlight pierces through the ceiling with the surface in sight. Those tunnels must have started low and worked their way up. However, the exposure to the surface doesn't compromise our privacy. There's no way anybody would find this place unless they knew about it. And from what I could tell, only a select few did. Select few, you say, when he said that the rebels is hundreds. Not thousands, but hundreds. Large. Though we were perfectly safe.
Ah, home sweet home. I'd like to welcome you all to our new HQ. It took some coercing with the mayor, but it's ours.
Wow, this place is incredible. And the honor guard built all of it?
Essentially, yeah. With a few finishing touches by ourselves, this is what they've been working on for 20 years.
That's crazy. All of those weapons, too. It's almost like they made it just for us.
We can dream, but I doubt it. Hey, Ulrich, Pro, can you show them around?
He motions to Valessa and Fortin.
Sure.
Oh, it's some one-on-one time. Pro is being overly polite, likely to make up to Dominic. He sneers at Pro in reply, still a little upset about his delay. Slight delay. However, moments later, they all leave the room together. Dominic turns to face me, with just two of us in the lobby. A few rebels run room to room, going about their business. I can tell from the way they move that they don't want to disturb us.
Well, what do you think? This is it. This is our home.
This is our home. Our home? You want me to move in together already? You want to move in together already? Oh, that's so cheesy. I kind of want to go for it. I've also been kind of extremely flirty this whole time. That's also something I would totally say. Our home, you say?
What? That's not... you know what I meant, Seer.
He smells and shuffles in place. Oh, smiles and
Well,
shuffles in place.
Time to start the grand tour. Let's see, where should we go first?
Oh, that's a good question. He places a hand on his chin, losing himself in thought.
Ah, of course. The library and the barracks.
He points to the two nearby doors.
The library is great for studying. And the barracks, that's for socializing. You'll definitely want to meet your new allies. So, let's start with those. After that, we can go to your personal quarters. That's right, all of you are getting your own rooms.
Nice. My own room? That's pretty impressive. This place must go deeper than I thought. I nod and smile as I start to follow Dominic. We were finally here. I felt like I could relax now. This entire journey has been one thing after another. But now I can finally rest and have privacy? I'll never take it for granted again. Ooh, hello. What was that? The library and barracks are accessed through this area. Use the map icons by the doors to navigate to these optional areas. To move to your personal quarters, you must return to the map. Oh, I see. One step down. Alright, let's save. Go to the library? No. See. Nothing to do on the map. Personal quarters. I think that's how I can... Well, no. Okay, so if I can probably go here then. Yes, stop right-clicking. We enter my personal quarters after a small trek through the HQ. It's larger than I thought it would be, and there's a bed as well. It's quite big. Oh, the bed as well is quite big. There isn't much of a tour to be had, so Dominic sighs in relief.
Well, that about ends the tour. After this, it's...
Whoa, hold on. If that ends the tour, I'm going to do this in the correct order. Okay, let's go to the library. It's on the first floor. Go to the library. Library. When we enter the library, Dominic rushes forward. He closes a few books and tidies the room as I catch up.
Terribly sorry about the mess. It was
It's a
impolite of me
library.
to leave it this way.
Light of you left it like this. After a few moments, he stops cleaning up. It didn't really bother me. He's just trying to make a good impression.
Well, there's not much to say about the library. As the dust would show, it doesn't get much use.
Hmm.
But you'll find books here on pretty much everything.
So yeah, he is the only one using it.
It's a great place to brush up on stuff you might be rusty on. It has a decent collection too. If it's out there, it's probably in here. Feel free to use it at your leisure. It's quite peaceful.
Nice. He smiles as he makes his way back to the main landing. This place is pretty big. I'm sure they have so many books. It's almost a shame that they don't get much use. Maybe I can change that. Privileged Q Library contains every book you've read on your journey. Brush up on knowledge and check on the status of your collection. It's a great way to read books without revisiting older areas. Nice. Shane's journal. I think this is where I'm at currently. Close. Oh, that's the HUD for this room. Okay. Alright. Go up to the barracks. To the barracks. Onward, Stanley. To the barracks. Stanley to show it works. We enter the barracks and Demix quickly looks around. There's a bunch of rebels practicing with swords. Those training dummies seem to get a lot of use.
Well, this is basically our training room. It's a great place to socialize as well. I'd consider it our main hub, actually. If you can't find a comrade, they're probably in here. There's a bunch of seats at the back for when we eat meals. I guess that makes it a bit of a cafeteria too, doesn't it?
Scheisse,
Anyway,
I knew I was forgetting
there's
something.
not much more to say. Make use of this room at your leisure. I'll meet you back outside when you're ready.
Bollocks. I can't believe I've forgotten. Give. Hey, is this shit locking up? There we go, now it's working. I knew I was forgetting something. But there we go. Now that's in order. Why did you use it smaller? Don't do that. There. Alright, we've returned. He makes his way back to the main hall. I stand and watch the rebels practice their swordplay. There's so many of them. This really was a sizable army. In this room, you can rewatch all previous party banter. A great way to revisit the content without moving through a ton of old areas. Click the letters for a list of which party banner is located in which grind spot. Click the letters for a list of which party banter is located in which grind spot. Catching up. Achievement get. One last drink. 4 times problem. Okay. Now we'll go to my personal quarters. I promise I won't flirt with him immediately. Unless there's like no other positive reaction or something. Let's make my way through the HQ, larger than I thought it would be, it's quite big, Dominic release.
Well, that about ends the tour. After this, it's just the crew quarters and the war table. I imagine this is where you'll spend most of your spare time.
If you have any. He walks to the back of the room and inspects the shelf on the wall. Moving books and papers aside, he seems a bit sad.
This room belonged to Shane. He was dear to me. I sent him on a dangerous mission to the Triumvirate's castle. He's been gone for a while, but I know he'll be back. I can feel it.
I see. It was a cheap-ass setup, is what that was. You moved the seer into my room! You did want me dead! No, I'm sorry, I didn't think he was more important than you, but I do miss you. Ugh, man, your writing's a bit transparent on this one. That's exactly how this is going to go down. So I guess he's just presuming that Shane is dead? Or is he lying to my face? I mean, I don't feel like he would betray his comrades like that, but we have only met him. Whatever.
So try not to get too comfortable, alright? This is just where you'll stay in the meantime. I wouldn't want Shane to think I forgot about him.
That doesn't matter. He's gonna see that I'm in this room and he's gonna freak the fuck out. Okay. I know, that makes perfect sense. But I wonder why he was inspecting the shelf. He stopped empty-handed, so he didn't find what he wanted.
You deserve a lot of rest, at least for today. Just follow me for a little bit longer. We're almost done. I'll show you where your comrades are staying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Of course, lead the way.
Thanks for being so accommodating. I'll meet you outside, Seer.
He walks back towards the door and waits outside. Let's see the flirty option. I really want to see the flirty option. I'm not gonna go with it, but I'm expecting him to kind of give out to me about not taking things seriously. Just a wee bit.
You deserve a lot of rest. Oh, we should actually get things moving. I'll meet you outside, Seer.
Oh, okay, maybe that was worth it. I love seeing this doggo blush. And it's also kind of maybe turning on the charm a little too much. Okay. I will undo that flirtation. Comes back to the door, towards the door and waits outside. So it's time to finish the tour. Finally. The crew quarters was our next stop. Shane's journal. There's a table lined with pretty much everything I'd need. It seems like this room was equipped with stuff for a long stay. However, something told me I wouldn't get to make much use of it. My training regimen would likely be intense. Early to rise and late to sleep, I could tell. There's a bunch of scrolls and books on this shelf. On top of this shelf. There should be a space right there. It must have belonged to the previous owner, Shane. As Dominic mentioned, this used to be his quarters. A bit odd to give them away if he's still alive, though. Well, like I said, he was just temporary until he gets back. After investigating a little bit more, I find his journal. The last entry is, regarding his upcoming mission.
Shane's journal. Domek has tasked me with something risky, but I know I can pull it off. I'd never let him down, and I truly owe him my life. He wants me to get caught on purpose. I know, it sounds stupid, but if I can get behind enemy lines, my insight could be invaluable. We know a lot about their castle, but we still know next to nothing about the Triumvirate themselves, let alone the forces of the Inquisition. This is my chance to expose them. So many questions, finally answered. I'll have to brush up on my acting and make it look like I'm actually getting caught. That'll require some planning. But I'll make sure that it seems natural. They'll likely starve me, or torture me, or worse. But I'll endure it. It's nothing new to me. I've endured it all in the past before Domek saved me and took me in. I'll survive it again for our cause. And for him. All for him.
Oh no.
Shane.
we got a bit of a love triangle here. Okay. So I'm going to hope that I'm wrong about the writing being transparent, and that him getting super upset and, like, willingly, in quotes, helping Sophie is actually just him acting, pretending to be angry. Because this acknowledges Sophie's point about already having information on the castle. So Sophie was mistaken on the information that Shane was trying to gather. Therefore, since he was looking for something completely different, he should know that Sophie is just blowing smoke up his skirt. And that, because he's looking for different information. So I'm hoping that he just saw this as an opportunity to escape. Hopefully. Otherwise, then him really giving out to Domek and getting pissed off and betraying him really doesn't make sense. Because this is him acknowledging something different from what Shane said, or Sophie said to set Shane off. He was so scared, but loyal to Domek. You think Domek isn't the type to take advantage of that? I'm sure Shane would carry out his goal just fine. Definitely. Bed. Why are there candles so close? That's a good question. I can understand wanting to be warm, but fire hazard much? Maybe I'd blow them out if things got too concerning. Why don't you just blow them out now? Also, who lit them? This room's been unused. Oh, I guess if they knew I was coming, right? Is that a piss bucket? Also, damn. There's a sconce above the bed, too. Right. We're outski. Crew quarters. After exiting my room, he takes me to a large hallway. At the end of it is a grand door, surely leading somewhere important. Hello, Hoodie. Welcome. How are you doing, laddie? We got new setup. I have completed the second computer and setting it up, and everything works. How are you doing on this Saturday night? Let's see. These are more important. Lining the sides are small doors. I assume they lead to more private rooms.
That door right there leads to the war table.
Oh.
That's the end of this tour. It's where things start. I'll go over our battle plan and give you an itinerary.
Oh boy.
Your training will commence tomorrow. I can't believe this is finally happening. It almost feels like a dream.
Oh god. I've been dreaming of you. He lets out a nervous laugh before turning to face the large door.
Well, these doors on the side lead you to your comrades' rooms. Valessa and Fortain have been given personal rooms just like you. My quarters are here
nice.
as well.
I have
if you'd
ice
like
cream
to
right
come spend
now.
Time with me. I'm going to make a quick stop in my room, actually. After that, I'll meet you at the war table, all right?
So did you have
You really
chicken
deserve
noodle?
it.
So did you have chicken noodle soup, or did you just have ramen? Or some other noodly food? Yeah, I guess when I heard chicken and noodle, I immediately thought of chicken noodle soup, and that was like the only combination, but you could totally just have like chicken parmesan or something. There's a lot of chicken and noodle dishes.
It's been a pleasure, Seer.
Aww. With a smile, he walks off to one of the side rooms. I guess that's the one I'd go to if I wanted to see him. Whoa, what? Oh, that's cute. He lives with his men. Let's see. With some long-awaited free time, it might be a good idea. However, I should make sure I spend it wisely. As soon as I met him at the war table. That should be meat. I haven't met him at the table yet. As soon as I meet him at the war table, things would begin. And something told me that nothing would be easy moving forward. Home sweet home. Use the region map to move to the war table and continue the story. For now, feel free to roam the world and access content at your leisure. Every unlocked character has a heart-to-heart in the crew quarters. Who are you? My ramen was high. I knew it. I knew I was being dumb. Ramen, some chicken, karage, and taiyaki. Dessert. Full of joy. Very nice. Okay. Nice, I'll save here. Is this where I get to... Alright, we got some hearts to heart. Access Valesa's heart to heart number 2. Oh, right. I've only done 4 attempts number 2. I enter Valesa's room and see her pacing around. It looks just like mine. She looks like she's in deep thought, so I clear my throat. It was enough to get her attention, and she turns to me with a smile.
Oh, hey, Seer. I was just thinking.
Thought I right-clicked on accident.
Oh, hey, Seer. I was just thinking about stuff. So much has happened since we got here. Remember what we talked about last time? Whether or not we should be open with the people? I was worried they'd use us to their own ends.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to foresee the future and change it? That's too powerful. People would pay almost any price. I'm glad you shared the same opinion. We can't tell the people.
Yeah.
You're so
Definitely seems like a
important
bad
to this
idea.
mission, Seer. We can't have people vying for your skill and attention, especially if they resort to stuff like kidnapping or bribing.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, they can't blackmail. And Fortem was on that list.
Sorry to sound so scary, but it's a real possibility. That's why it's probably best for us to remain anonymous. However, I have a feeling we can't stay that way forever. Dominic is wasting no time telling everybody who we are. It's only a matter of time until word spreads to the rest of Mazeo. We'll need to come up with some kind of system, or something.
What do you mean?
Our main cause is helping Dominic and the rebellion. But when people hear who you are and come for help, what should we do then? Honestly, I'm at a loss.
Just have to be choosy about it, I guess. Or just tell them up front that, hey, you can't really control this. I don't get to choose what I see.
Maybe I'll talk to him and see what he says. It's possible that I'm just being paranoid, right? But everyone says that Mazaeans can be ruthless.
And by extension, the rest of the world.
I just want to help people and ensure your safety.
Aww.
There must be a way to do both, and I know I'll find it. Let's change the subject. This is really stressing me out.
She smiles, yet gives off concern at the same time. It's good that she was thinking about this kind of stuff. Remaining resolute in these circumstances was admirable.
This HQ is a pretty nice place, huh? I'm surprised that those suits of armor built this. Look, there's a bed here. Why would they need that? Dominic says they want to live again, but there must be more to it than that. It's so intricate and clearly built for an army. I really think they wanted to help us out. That's why they built this place the way it is. They must have known what was going to happen.
They are spirits, right?
But that also means they're defying the triumvirate. What if we could use their own honor guard against them? Though, to be honest, I still feel a bit hesitant using that term.
Yeah.
After what they've done to us, there's no honor left to protect. They've condemned the souls of so many victims to servitude. I guess it was only a matter of time before they rebelled too.
She sighs and sits down on the bed. I slowly walk over and sit beside her.
Look at me.
Whoa!
Business as usual. Maybe people are right. Maybe I need to unwind.
Whoa!
Life can't be any fun if you never take a break, right?
That option. Let's unwind together, Alessa. I feel like she's definitely going to reject me if I hit that option. I want to view it. I feel like she's going to reject me because I haven't made, like, prior advances. Let's unwind together.
Together? Yeah, I can do that. I wouldn't know where to start. There's so much on my to-do list. I guess I should start from the top, huh?
Oh boy, she's a top. She motions to the table, there's a bottle of wine on it.
Fortum has been bugging me about this for a while. I guess a drink or two will do plenty to help me unwind. Wanna keep me company? It's better than staying alone.
Well, now I have to, like, stay on this route because drinking alone is just sad. The piano man himself said so. I nod, and we move from the bed to the table. She pops open the bottle and pours each of us a glass. However, she doesn't sip. She seems hesitant.
Shouldn't we have a toast or something? I mean, we're supposed to drink for a cause, right? I'm new to this, so I'll let you do the honors here.
Oh. Here's to friend zoning. Something, people drink to silence the voices in their head, though. Yeah, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Oh, we're all in the mood for a melody. Here's to a brighter future. Go with
I couldn't
that.
have said it better myself.
I'm sending her mixed signals. Wait, hold on. I will do that option, but I want to see the other option. Because I want to see the option.
Trust me, I guess I...
Wait, shit. It did the thing where it clicked through the screen. It's online together.
Together?
Although I think I did actually click it. Here's to us getting closer together.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, same dialogue. We take a sip and we begin to while away the hours. I help get her mind off work, and we talk for a long time. After that, I see myself back to the crew quarters, happy. Okay, that's fine. I think I'll leave it like that. You're still missing character. You want me to save Fortim for last, or do you want to go right on into him now? Bunny's dessert? Okay. Alright, Ulrich, I clicked on your heart, but not... Can be last. I enter Ulrich's room. He's lying on his bed, relaxed. We're going to get so drunk! Bottles of alcohol line the table nearby, some empty, some full. He hears me enter and immediately rises up, grabbing his sword.
Who's there?
Baz. As soon as he notices it's me, he relaxes with a sigh. Loosening his grip on his sword. God damn it. He puts it aside. He was a bit paranoid, but with reason.
Sorry, you never know when someone might attack. I don't normally doze off too
Oh, I
much,
see.
for that reason alone. It's nice to see you, though. I had a good time at the tavern.
He stands up and walks over to the table. With a large swig from another bottle, he lets out a refreshing sigh. He must not have much downtime, but today was an off day.
Namek said to relax, so that's what I'm doing. I've known him for years, and he's never said that. I'm surprised he's not celebrating his new pirate treaty. Even if he tells us to relax, I doubt that he's doing it.
Well, I'll make sure to help
He's
him then.
probably already waiting for you in the war room. Don't worry, I'll try not to keep you here for too long.
He shuffles bottles aside, looking for something specific. It isn't much longer until he finds a much larger bottle, still full. There's a crimson liquid inside. It seems to be a special wine.
I've been saving this for a special occasion. And trust me, Damek giving me the night off is really special. I don't remember the last time I could just sit back and relax.
Yeah, I'm okay with how that ended. He pops the cork out of the bottle and takes a large swig. Weren't you supposed to savor wine rather than jug it?
Valoranthian wine. It's quite delicious. I'd say it's the best thing to come from that horrible place. Tastes like juice, but trust me, it sneaks up on you later.
Oh god, that's
Shall
terrifying.
we?
Yes. He holds out the bottle, offering it to me. I accept it, and we both sit down on the edge of the bed. Taking turns, we pass the bottle back and forth until it's
Wow.
gone.
That certainly took me back. I haven't had a drinking buddy like you in a long time. People these days seem to forget about the finer things in life. Damek is always saying, train, train, train. I don't even know if he's capable of taking it easy. At least Salas knew how to balance work and fun.
He goes to take another sip of the wine, trying to get the last drops. I wonder how much it cost him. It's probably the best I've ever tasted.
I guess I shouldn't bore you with that kind of talk. Your time is valuable, and you're choosing to spend it with me.
Aw.
Some host I'd be if I sat here and wasted that time of yours.
He stands up and places the bottle on the table before sitting down again. The bed is more than big enough to fit both of us comfortably. He lets out a loud sigh before crossing his arms.
I guess that's all I had. Too bad. The night is still young.
Uh-oh. He laughs softly, looking over in my direction.
Drinking buddies with no drinks? This is a first. What now?
It really has been long since, or has it really been this long since Ulrich had a friend? He doesn't know what to do, so I give him some direction. It's crazy how much he knows about me, yet I know nothing about him.
More about me? So you want me to bore you, huh?
He smiles and lays back in the bed, looking up at the ceiling. It's almost like he didn't want to look at me while he spoke. As a courtesy, I lay back as well, and we look up together.
Well, I'm probably older than you think. But I prefer to use the term experienced.
Oh, well.
I've seen a lot of combat in my numerous years.
He's an experienced top.
You kind of grow up alongside battle in Alarinthia. The culture there is so
I held out
steeped
for
in
as long
war,
as
it's
possible, I
impossible to
promise.
avoid. When you come of age, you should already be an expert in combat. I was, but I chose to leave Alarinthia behind as soon as I could. My parents wanted me to stay, but I think they wanted it for them. I came to the mainland because I knew it would be the best for me. You need to look out for yourself. Don't let others sway your opinion. At least, that's what I told myself. I justified breaking my parents' hearts. I can't make it up to them either. They've been gone for ages. They were part of a movement that wanted to change Alarinthia. Things would be better in the hands of the wise, not the strong. An admirable view, unless you were surrounded by the strong.
You just have to be strong and wise, forehead.
And surrounded they were. They were killed for their beliefs. That's why I hate Alarinthia more than anything. And the way it's run. I told myself I'd come to the mainland and practice my sword.
Rule with strength and then turn it to wisdom.
I'd only ever return when I was strong enough to win. If I could become the ruler of Alarinthia, I would change their laws. Every leader has that ability, but they only care about their own power. It's always a battle of the strong against the wise. I wanted to go back to that land, both strong and wise.
There you go.
A ruler
See?
with a different outlook, he could change everything.
We're on the same wavelength.
It's just the alcohol talking right now, by the way. The childish dream of a young man. That's all it was.
Young man.
This world offers no quarter
I don't
to
remember
men
the rest of the
blind
song.
on ambition.
I said, young man. He tilts his head to look at me.
And so we offer no quarter in return. This war, it's already taken so much from us. I find myself asking, how much more will it take?
No more.
Hopefully, not too much.
I turned to respond, but I noticed his eyes are closed. Was he so tired he could fall asleep almost instantly? I wonder if I should wake him up, but I decided to let him rest. Slowly getting out of bed, I tiptoe my way to the door. It's been a long journey for him, too, but he deserves this. I exit as silently as I can, ready to continue on my way. But I learned more about him, so I'm happy. Maybe he'd get to change Alarinthia in the end. After we defeated Dread, anything is possible. Oh, I didn't save there. Rip. Oh well. You're next, bro. Heart to Heart Pro 2, number 1. What the fuck? Heart to Heart with Pro, number 2. Enter Pro's room and see him sitting down. He's hunched over a piece of paper, scribbling notes down on it. It appears to be some sort of legal-looking document. As he opened a bottle of wine, an open bottle of wine sits next to him, and it's still full. 2 wine glasses sit on the table, on opposite sides of each other. Upon hearing my entrance, he looks up at me and smirks.
I knew you'd come sooner or later. Good thing the wine didn't get too warm.
God, I
See,
couldn't find your beer.
this is some good vintage stuff.
Nice. Well, everybody is just drinking. I wonder if Fortham's going to be drinking. Though, to be fair, we might have drank with Valessa because I was flirty and we're unwinding together. So that could have gone differently. I pull out a chair and sit across from Bro. As soon as I sit down, he starts pouring some wine. It's a dark crimson red and appears to be quite thick. Have you ever heard of thick wine? Wiggin, that funny
At
juice.
least that's what the guy told me. I just asked for their most expensive wine. That job from before, I made more than I thought.
Oh.
I asked myself what I should do with all of it. I mean, there was a ton to spare even after buying food. All I could think of was share a drink with my
Damn, you
new
work
friends.
quick.
So, here we are. Hopefully it's something you enjoy.
Alright, here. I'll do this a little bit more better. I'll save that here. Let's flirty. Aw, you trying to win me over?
Wait, I didn't do that already? I already have this whole lovable rogue thing mastered. It's just a matter of sealing the deal with some wine.
Oh.
Last time we hung out, I didn't really get the chance. I was worried I'd scare you away when you found out what I do. It's dirty work, but it helps us survive.
I'm not gonna lie,
Somebody has to do it,
I
right?
kinda already figured out that's what you did. Wine sounds like it has pulp in it. Oh, thick wine sounds like it has pulp in it. I skipped over half of the words in your sentence, I'm sorry.
There's a big difference between me and a regular swindler, though. I do it because we need to survive. They do it for fun and riches. After the war is over,
Oh, good.
I won't need to do this stuff
I guess
anymore.
that's true. You did mention being like a historian.
Trust me, I long for that day to come.
I
I
long
want to just
for it was
kick
the
back and
opponent.
work on my writing. Right now, I only have time for this kind of stuff.
He motions to the paper he was writing on, and sighs.
Organized blackmail, pretty much. That guy I mentioned last time, I was able to bribe him. He gave us tons of money to hide his growing misconduct. Of course,
Nice.
that makes it sound so bad, but you always need to get everything in writing. So we found a better way to word it. Listen to this. I offer Pro this sum of money in exchange for discretion. See? Doesn't sound too much like shady business, does it?
That's exactly what it
Information
sounds
is a
like.
huge market. And so is stopping the flow of it.
That is exactly what that sounds like, bro. You're not fooling a soul.
Everyone is so caught up on doing stuff to make money. And here I am able to make it all by staying my hand. You just need to think outside the box a bit, Seer. Anyway, enough about that.
Oh,
We should talk about the important stuff. How are you enjoying the new HQ so far?
we're going down the flirty line, so better now.
Oh, is that so? I guess the drink really won you over then. That's what the guy told me. It was a romantic wine. I mean, not that I was trying to be romantic. Jeez, I hope you don't get the wrong idea. Unless it's the right idea, then please, by all means.
He continues to talk while slowly taking, fuck me, I cannot read. We continue to talk while taking slow sips of wine. The atmosphere in here is a lot better than back at the tavern, and it feels like we're getting to know each other far more.
Honestly, I'm having a really great time. It's not often I get to put everything on pause, but right now, I don't have a care in the world. If we have more time, want to do this again? I mean, time might be pretty scarce in the future, but
You
what
supplied the
little time
line.
I have, I'd totally spend with you.
Aw, are you asking me out on a date?
I mean, if you want to put a label on it, sure. But I was just thinking it'd be nice to spend more time together. We're finally past that whole awkward part of introductions. I mean, I had to come clean about being a swindler, right? I'd rather do it right out of the gate than surprise you later on. We can get to know each other more now and see if we click.
Nice. We keep drinking until the wine is all gone. It's just casual conversation, nothing too intense, but once we're done, Pro stands up and yawns.
I guess this is it then? For now, of course. It's getting late. You shouldn't keep Domek waiting too long. As much as I hate to cut this short, I mean, it's nice to just push aside all responsibilities. Let's make a habit of it. It'll be like a ritual of ours.
Ritual, you say? He smiles and I stand up ready to leave, but I guess he's not ready to see me off just yet. Running forward, he wraps his arms around me.
Thank you, Seer. Next time, it's a date. Just like you said. I'll get more wine and candles. It'll be great.
Aw. And with that, he's back to his own business. Sitting at the table, he's lost in the letter once more. I leave the door with a smile on my face. I'm glad we got along. Alright, time to undo all of that. Sorry, Pro. But a person living in the darkness like you doesn't work for a person who lives on the light like me, or something. I don't know. That's more than enough. You didn't have to.
Of course I didn't. It's a gift. Kinda loses its meaning if I have to do it. I wanted to get things off to a better start, you know?
What was he saying before? There's 10 spare to buying food. Oh, share a drink with a new friend. That's what it was. Okay.
Last time we hung out, I
He's
didn't
such a
really
bottom.
get the chance. I was worried I'd scare you away when you found out what...
Eep.
Anyway, enough about that.
It's
We
awesome.
should talk about the important stuff. How are you enjoying the new HQ so far?
It's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Although I really hesitate to call it new. We basically lived here before getting the deed. It was more of a formality than anything. Anyway, that's not really important. I'm glad that you like it. We're stuck here.
So what about him oozes bottom? Like, what makes you say that? He does blush a lot. And I think that that's like step one, right? Then you taking sips of
If we have
wine.
more time, want to do this again? I mean, time might be pretty scarce in the future, but what little time I have, I'd totally spend with you.
Aw. Of course, I had a great time.
Right, that settles it then. I'm glad we were able to, push past that awkward stage. You know, the whole, hey, I'm a swindler part of this.
If only I could tell him that I had that figured out from the moment I met him. One does not simply have a lot of information and not blackmail people. Not in this kind of, like, era or setting.
I promise it'll be good times and wine from here on out. Though I still think you should be my workout partner. Next time, maybe I'll challenge you to a little race.
I'll just fly, you fool. You drink until the wine is gone. He smiles, I stand up ready to leave. But I guess he's not ready to see me off just yet. Running for me? Running forward, he offers me a firm handshake. Okay, now you're just being awkward. Incredibly blushing and puts on such a cool and suave guy demeanor. Yet when Vortin put that to the test, he crumbles. That's true. And he said, charm me. Like, I can't. I see. That just made this awkward. Imagine, like, you just, like, hung out with your buddy, you had, like, a really good time, you go to leave, and you just shake hands to leave.
Thank you, Seer.
Thank you. And with that, he's back to his own business. Sitting at the table, he's lost in that letter once more, and leave. Alright. Now for the main course. And then finally the dessert. Right, Dominic? We're going all in on this one. Christian non-homoerotic handshake. Enter Demix's personal quarters and see him sitting on his bed. He is gripping something in his hand. It looks shiny and metallic. I take a few steps forward, making my presence known to him. He immediately jerks in fright, startled by my entrance. Looking away from me, he wipes his eyes with haste. He is wearing a wide smile by the time he looks back.
Oh, hey there. Just keeping up my habit of not being receptive, I suppose. If I knew you'd be here so fast, I would have put out some food.
Oh, well now I'm worried about him. He stands up and walks to the table. He stands up and walks to the table near. Fuck! He stands up and walks to the nearby table. After placing the object he was holding in it, after placing the object he was holding on it, he lets out a soft laugh. I look at it when I get the chance. It appears to be some kind of brooch.
I trust our HQ is to your satisfaction. Hopefully the rebels have been treating you with respect.
I've not talked to any
That
of
blade strap to your back pretty much gives you away.
them.
Let me know if anybody acts out of turn. I won't hesitate to put them in their place, you know. You're our honored guest, and should be treated as such.
I don't like it when you pamper me like this. Of course, I'll keep you in the loop. I kind of like that option more, honestly. I sure like it when you pamper me like this.
Hey now, don't get used to it. Your guest privileges extend only so far. After today, you'll be under a strict training regimen.
He pulls out 2 chairs and proceeds to sit down. Taking the side closest to the brooch he laid down, he looks up at me.
Care to join me? I wouldn't mind getting to know you a little better. You're more than just a seer, after all. It's rude of us to treat you like some sort of symbol. I know some of my troops do that to me since I'm the general, but there's more beneath the surface. So much more.
Tell me about the brooch. Brooch, whatever. I nod and take a seat in the chair opposite. He smiles and leans forwards, displaying an attentive pose. His lack of speech makes me realize that it's my turn to speak. I tell him everything I can, pretty much summing up my life. I tell him how I met Fortim and Valessa and how we grew up. But most importantly, I tell him about the loss of our parents. As soon as he hears the story, I can see him tense up. He reaches for the brooch and clenches it tightly in his hand. After a few moments of holding on to it, he starts to relax.
The occupation. We all lost something special that day. But some of us lost far more than others. What an unlucky day to be in Mazea, huh? Your parents could have easily avoided that mess. Mine, however, well, not so much. It's complicated. I don't remember what my parents did exactly. I think they own some sort of tavern or restaurant. It's odd how I remember little else but the chaos.
I am fairly certain our parents were all pirates. He slumps down in his chair, his posture emanating sorrow.
I wouldn't normally tell anybody this, but you're special. Oh, not really special, but you caught me holding on to it.
He holds out the brooch, and I get a clear look of it for the first time. It's a floral pattern, clearly feminine. I'm curious why he fancies it so much. Is it your mum's, or do you have a significant other?
This brooch?
Yep.
It used to belong to my mother. She loved it. I made sure to retrieve it from her body after the occupation.
That's not morbid. At all. He scoffs, before shaking his head.
I remember the piles of bodies, hundreds of them lining the town square. The days after the occupation were horrid. Corpses as far as the eye could see. Luckily, I knew exactly where they kept my mother's body, so I went straight to it. How did I know? Well, maybe I'll tell you another time. Just know that this brooch means more to me than anything else. When I hold on to it, it takes me back to simpler times, you know? I don't tell anybody because they need me to be strong. You can't win a war with sentiment after all. I have a certain image to maintain.
Would you have, looked at the microphone when you said those lines? He looks at me with a smile.
But I feel I can be myself around you. You have the same burden, the same appearance to keep up. When we're together, I just feel like I can be myself.
I hope we can be together more often. I like you. And I like this. I like just the positive ones. They're just good. Until you're sick of each other, you mean? Toast to being ourselves. I like you.
Oh, that caught me a little off guard. I guess it explains a few things. Honestly, I'm flattered. Can we please put a pin on that till next time? And sorry for venting about the occupation. It's not exactly the most cheery subject, right? Just felt right to open up to you some more.
He stands up and pushes the chair back. I guess this was my signal to leave for now. I stand up and offer my hand for shaking. He does nothing, and I am left looking like a fool. This isn't the first time he's refused to shake my hand. Rather than comment on the matter, he changes the subject.
Let's meet in the war room whenever you're ready, Seer. This might be your last resting day for a while, so spend it wisely.
Does he have a thing about touching me? Maybe I'm coming on too strong. Or is that in a different house? No, I just imagined he did something like this, where he just was looking at something, but he already had the line memorized. It was just quieter. Rather than being the general, he's becoming a friend. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure how that went, so I'm going to...
Let me know if anybody acts out of turn. I won't hesitate to put them in their place, you know. You're our honored guest, and should be treated as such.
I'll keep you in the loop.
I appreciate it. It's hard to keep tabs on everything nowadays. I'm trying my best, but so much slips through my grasp. But I feel I can be myself around you. You have the same burden, the same appearance to keep up. When we're together, I just feel
he's now
like I can
talking
be
over
myself.
himself. So I feel the same way.
Good, then it's settled. We'll make sure to do this again. There's plenty more to talk about.
I definitely like how that one went better.
And sorry for venting about the occupation. It's not exactly the most cheery subject, right? Just felt right to open up to you some more.
He stands up and pushes the chair back in. This was my signal to leave for now. I stand up, offering my hand for shaking. He does nothing but make me look like the fool. Okay, I like that ending more. Alright, now we get to go through Fortim twice. I enter Fortim's room and seeing him sitting at the table. He's engrossed in a book. It's almost like he's studying. I take a few steps forward and announce my presence to him.
Oh, hey there! You might want to read this, Seer. I was just looking up how to save Valinor.
Oh. That's right, he wants to reconnect Valinor to the spirit realm. Without the power from the idol, Valinor would freeze over. At least that's what we thought. His next words surprised me.
Current scholars are losing faith in the spirit realm. They call our reliance on the spirit idols a superstition. Without them, they say the world would be exactly the same. I disregarded it at first, but then I thought about it. Valinor's idol has been dim for over 20 years now. Have you noticed it get colder at all? I sure haven't.
Just because I was there, dummy. Maybe, I don't know.
But one conclusion just brings up a million more mysteries. If they aren't giving energy to the land, what are they doing? Is there some purpose to the spirit realm that we don't know? I mean, I like this hypothesis, I truly do. Forgive my blasphemy, but just hear me out. If the idol isn't important, then Valinor is fine. That means we don't need to worry about it freezing over. It just brings about a new question. What are the idols? We know that they create seers, but what about the idol here? And what about the idol in Alarinthia that the Triumvirate destroyed? They expect us to believe that Alarinthia was always meant to be a desert? I was told that the destruction of their idol caused it to become lifeless. Either way, more studying is required, but I'm starting to think outside the box. I like that. It's almost like Valinor was guiding our thoughts, you know?
Oh, this bunny is becoming aware.
Go against the spirits and you're seen as evil or crazy. But out here, that's normal. It allows people to get more creative. I've seen a bunch of new theories about our world, and the spirits.
Something something parallels to religion, something something I don't want to talk about it.
Anyway.
That's a topic for another time, maybe. He smiles and stands up from the table. It looks like he's been keeping himself busy.
We have something important to talk about. I spoke to Pro, and he gave me some spending money. So next time I get the chance, I'm buying that climbing gear.
Oh, don't get taken
and
advantage
I
of.
expect you to become my apprentice, Seer. I'll show you the ropes, and then we'll climb the Grand Tree. Hopefully we have time for one last trip before the final battle.
He crosses his arms and gives me a sly smirk.
If you get good enough, then we can get competitive. It'd be nice to have a rival. Gives me the drive to improve. I need that extra push if I'm gonna make it to the top.
The bunny is trying to become the top now.
I just haven't had much time to practice my climbing. I hope I'm not rusty when the time comes. That'd suck. Climbing the Grand Tree has always been my life's goal. The first time I attempt it, I want to make sure I succeed. And they say the best way to learn is to teach somebody else. So you better prepare for some rigorous training. We're doing this.
It seems like he's not about to take no for an answer.
Oh, sorry. My mind is all over the place. Thanks for coming to visit me, Seer. It means a lot.
He can be a
really
power
does.
bottom as a treat.
I guess you better head back to Domic. Isn't he waiting for you in the
Aw.
war room or something? At least, that's what I heard. He sure loves to work.
He smiles and takes steps back towards the table. But before he gets there, he stops in his tracks and turns around. He really was scatterbrained today, wasn't he? Is everything okay?
There's one more thing I wanted to ask you. I just forgot. Or maybe I was too embarrassed. Remember what Domic said about the Honor Guard? They're powered by the spirits of occupation victims. I know Valessa was thinking the same thing. About our parents. Do you think they're still alive? Down here? Trapped in that armor?
We're gonna set them free.
Good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. It's something we can talk about more as a group. Valessa feels the same way. She just wouldn't speak up.
I'm also fairly certain Domic also was like, he wanted to set him free, so...
I saw it in her face, back in the tunnels. I don't know how we'll free them, though. But I think it has to do with your sword. So, until next time then, I'll get back to my reading.
He gives me a quick smile before returning to his book. It's admirable how much he's studying given the circumstances. I decide to leave him be for now and go about my business. Okay. I want to see if this is any different. So I'm going to skip through a lot of dialogue because I'm genuinely interested. Going back to Fortum. We're going back to the date. And we're going to date him.
I hope we're not doing anything wrong. Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm just going to breeze through all this. This is gonna take a hot second. Alright. Oh, no, arrow. Arrow.
Well, what about you?
Alex's. Huh? Why is that red? Oh, it's a book. Alright, back to menu. Back. Books.
It's
Hmm.
well, what do you think? This is it. This is our home.
Oh, right. It's the same thing. It's incredible that they made this. Lurg. And then I can just skip through this by going here.
You deserve a lot of rest, at least for.
Lead the way. Go to here. Now let's go to Fortum. I'm curious if this is different at all. Oh, he runs up to me and gives me a tight hug.
It might be a good idea for another date, too. A bit more private than Mazeo's town square. If we can make it to the top, that is. I sure hope so.
Oh, he's talking about climbing again. Okay.
I just haven't had much time to practice my climbing. I hope I'm not rusty when the time comes. That'd suck. Climbing the Grand Tree has always been my life's goal. The first time I attempt it, I want to make sure I succeed. And they say the best way to learn is to teach some...
Making
Oh,
up for an
sorry.
answer.
They're powered by the spirits of occupation.
Okay.
I saw
So
it
the
in
only
your
difference
face.
is he gives you a hug.
So, until next time...
He runs up to me and gives me a kiss on the cheek. After that, we embrace each other and smile.
I can't wait to see you again.
Aww. Okay, I'm going to go put this over here. Just to have Fortum in the background, so I don't have to go through all of that again. Oh, is this where I was? Load. Love him so much. Alright, now I just need character not in your party. We need to do this. Warning! Moving to the war table will initiate Act 3. Act 3 is a long series of cutscenes. This whole game has been cutscenes. What do you want about? With no side content. Please make sure you have sufficient time set aside to watch. Continue. Act 3 begins. The movie portion. I enter the war room and see Demek standing over the table. He's moving wooden figures from place to place, forming a strategy. I guess this was my first time seeing him in action. It was impressive. What the fuck are you even talking about? You were not versed in war, so you don't know what any of that means. So this essentially just looks like a grown man playing with toys. What's so impressive about in the context of my character not knowing anything about this, what is impressive?
I'm glad you came, Seer.
Still doesn't know my name. He talks to me while he works, displaying grace and lack of effort. It's almost like it's second nature for him. What is he planning? I notice a map on the table with figures scattered about different regions.
So tomorrow we'll begin your training with the
Looks
Blade of
cool.
Exodus. But in addition to that, we'll have to train you in swordplay as well.
As
I
well.
think Ulrich should be free. I can't really think of a better teacher.
He's gonna teach me how to two-hand the sword, not one hand. He eyes the scabbard on my back and the base of the sword.
We think that the more you use it, the more you'll tolerate it. If you're like me, you got overwhelmed the moment you touched it. It's about adapting. Slow exposure will help you become stronger. But we're also in a rush, so I've worked out a schedule for you. It balances both exposure therapy as well as combat training. There's a bit of free time in there too. You'll be needing it.
Oh, damn it. I like 'em thick AF. But Sir Newton, we can't write that. Then write this. The greater the mass, the greater the force of attraction. It just like looked down and I saw that. I was on my phone. Sending a message on Discord. He points to a paper resting on the war table. I pick it up and start to inspect the contents. It's a detailed itinerary. I'm impressed.
Now, there's one more thing. The spirit idol we discovered is right down there. It's a bit of a walk, so I'll have to show it to you later.
He points to a small exit in the back of the corner. Or in the back corner of the room. It almost looks like the entrance of a cave. It stands out. I must have dug out a large portion of this room.
It's also where I chose to bury Salus, our former leader. I guess I can be sentimental when it comes to that stuff. It just seemed like the right thing to do, you know? Now, let's go over your...
Before he can continue, he is immediately cut off. Bro runs into the room, panting heavily, clearly exerted. You mean exhausted? But there's a hint of fright and concern on his face, too.
Dominic, come quick.
Pro, what's going on? I'm in the middle of a meeting here.
The meeting can wait, Dominic, please. Grizz is here and he's causing a commotion.
What? Alright, let's go. We should probably talk to him, Seer. I'm pretty sure I know what he's after.
We all nod to one another and Pro starts leading the way. No, don't tell me he touched some armor. That would be sad. Whatever was coming our way, I'm sure Demix could handle it. I've seen... Oh. I like him thick AF. That's not the first time I've seen it, either. We run to the atrium and to handle the situation as fast as we can. When we arrive, I see Ulrich standing imposingly before Grizz. A good choice. Ulrich could fight off almost anybody.
Stand down, Grizz.
I only want to see Domek. We had a deal and it's his turn to deliver. Don't forget, I'm the only reason you're down here.
Lol. We were here before we even had the thing. We're just here legally now. Or something. But something squatters' rights? I don't know. Grizz looks back toward us, noticing our entrance.
Please, Ulrich, stand aside. Insubordination isn't your style.
He's not working under you, my man. He tilts his head back towards Demix. Ulrich turns and looks, noticing that we're here. Saying nothing, he turns around and walks away. He rests his back against the wall and simply watches. It seemed like almost all of the tension was cut from the air. Those two men in a deadlock was a scary sight to behold.
Good.
And then you go and make that face.
Time. Unless anybody else wants to challenge me.
You taking as like some kind of win over Ulrich? Demix takes slow steps forward, cautious not to make sudden movements. Grizz grips the handle of the hammer resting on his back, as if to threaten.
Now, Grizz, let's remain calm. I fully intend to hold up my end of the bargain. There was just some important business to take care of.
He motions towards me.
Yeah, I know. But all the pieces are in place, Domek. Will you please take me to see it?
Demix shuffles in place, anxious.
I suppose I can rearrange my schedule a bit. Sorry if it appeared like I was going back on my word.
I'll accept that apology when you take me to the idol. I'm sure you understand. I'm past the point of buying time. And make sure you bring that new friend of yours as well.
Oh. So it was the idol he wanted. And from the way he spoke, he wanted me as well. Of course, it's all likely relate. Fuck! Of course, this is all likely related to the Blade of Exodus.
Very well.
Demix simply concedes without contest. Of course, before we can move, there is an interruption. Being a rebel was a busy life. It's always something. However, this something was far bigger than any of us imagined. Demix looked on in shock as a young man slowly enters the room. With heavy, labored steps, they appeared to be weak and tired.
Shane? Shane, you're back!
Demix runs forward, and Grizz steps back. He seems to understand what was going on too. Shane had come back from his trip to Balteus.
Domek.
I'm going to kill you.
Shane, I can't believe this. I was so worried we lost you.
Everyone watches in awe.
Did they hurt you? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Pro, go grab some water, quick!
No, Domek, I'm fine. Don't worry about it, Pro.
Pro stops in his tracks upon hearing this. If anything, it just looked like Shane needed some rest.
I'm sorry, Domek.
You actually gonna be this goddamn shallow game? Or transparent? I don't know. I don't remember what I called it.
For what? Oh, don't be silly, Shane. I'm the one who should be apologizing here. It was foolish of me to send you into danger like that.
Shane steps forward and wraps his arms around Demick. Everyone seems so relieved, and all of the tension is gone. Even Grizz cracks a smile as he watches this happy reunion, but Shane takes advantage of our lowered guard. Reaching into a pocket, he pulls out a dagger. Before any of us can react, the damage is done. Demick screams and stumbles back in shock. Shane was fast, his abdomen covered in wounds. He shakes, blood spilling on the floor at an alarming rate.
Shane?
You're not making sense, game. You're not making sense. You shouldn't have put that journal entry there. Ulrich is the first to react as he tries to restrain Shane. However, it's no use. He's far too agile to be caught.
Shane, what have you done?
He does not respond and grabs a bow and some arrows from a nearby weapon stand. All of us are panicking, not sure what to do. Could Ulrich take on Shane alone? Within a few moments, though, that is the absolute least of our worries.
Sylvie, now!
Immediately after, Sylvie enters the room from the entrance to the tunnels. There's a man in a white suit of armor with him, too, like the honor guard. What was he doing here? This was definitely coordinated. We're in trouble.
Sometimes I wish it wouldn't be so easy. Look, Halen, even the suits of armor are still alive. All the time in the world, and they didn't even act.
Pitiful.
They look at all of the honor guard in the atrium, minding their own business. They just stumble around. There's a lot, but they pose no real threat to anybody. Sylvie steps forward, looking at all of us. Man, this is so dumb. They had like a decent setup whatever. Ulrich grips his blade and stands in the way.
Leave.
Or else, what?
I'll kill you.
So dramatic, Ulrich. You've certainly grown. Where was that bravado 500 years ago?
So he is old as fuck. That's what I thought. Ulrich growls and grits his teeth, evilly provoked. All of us are locked in place, too scared to move.
You're outnumbered.
Yo, we get to
Don't
see his
test
sword.
me. If Domek dies, we'll find another leader. You've done no real damage to us, Sylvie.
Is that a Zweihander? Which is literally just two-hander.
Is that so?
Also, the blade is not curved. Why does it not stick out from behind him? Sophie grins and raises one of his hands in the air. With a dramatic snap of his fingers, I stumble back. The blade is reacting and trembling. What's going on? There's a quick flash of white light. Wait, I know this feeling. From my vision of Valinor when he animated those suits of armor. Can he truly manipulate the blade without even touching it? He can. All hell breaks loose before I can even start to process these events. The honor guard grabbed their blades and start massacring the rebels. With a simple snap of his fingers, he sent them all into a murderous rage. So this isn't happening. All I can hear are screams of agony as our forces are caught off guard. Bodies start to litter the floor while other rebels grab weapons and fight. Grizz runs forward and grabs Dominick's body, slowly dragging it away.
Seer, come with me. Let the rebels keep the enemy
Or maybe
occupied.
it's not.
I have an idea, but you need to do what I say.
I nod and follow after him. I'm still not able to process anything. How could the rebellion recover from this? How would the rebellion recover from this? Within minutes, almost all of the rebels were killed. This isn't how things are supposed to happen. I look down at Demix's body. It's motionless. A trail of blood follows me and Grizz as we flee the area. But before we can leave the atrium, Shane notices the trail. I feel a sharp pain in my chest and suddenly drop to the floor. I can't move. I look down and notice an arrowhead protruding from my torso. Damn, that is a strong bow. He shot me in the back. That's all I can take in before everything fades away. However, with what just happened, I am certain of one simple fact. The rebellion is no more. The troop morale is 25%. And now we wake up, and everything's back up to 100%. Or some Ex Machina bullshit. Valessa and Fortim rush to the atrium, frightened by the sound of commotion. Members of the Honor Guard rush past them to carry out their brutal objective. When they arrive, a horror awaits them. It's clear that the rebellion has lost.
Oh no!
Ulrich, what's going on?
Ulrich is locked in combat with Sophie, who's violently swinging his sword, but Sophie dodges with ease, swaying his body from side to side. When he gets a chance, he lands a harsh punch on Ulrich's chest. Falling back, Ulrich is brought to his knees. He pants heavily, trembling as he rises back up.
I don't hide behind a sword like you and your seer. Now tell me, Ulrich, how does it feel to lose to me?
I wonder if they're from the
To
same
see
place.
everything around you crumble and fall.
He laughs, the maniacal cackle echoing through the hall.
Perhaps now you regret changing sides.
Never. This isn't over, Sophie. Stand back, both of you.
Wait, your sword's back on your back. He waves his arm dismissively at Valessa and Fortime. However, it was already too late. The honor guard is closing in on them. Ulrich turns and tries to help them, but a blow to the back of his head knocks him down. Is it down? Yeah, knocks him down. He can only watch through blurred vision as the honor guard overpowers them. Screams assault his ears, and they're slowly silenced. Had they been killed too? He scans the room, trying to find Pro, but he can't. Perhaps he's among the bodies. Sophie steps over and kicks Ulrich in the gut, causing him to grunt and roll over. A few moments later, he kneels down and stares Ulrich straight in the eyes.
You thought you had everything under control. Abandon Valenorth, gather your forces, and attack Balteus. It would work if we didn't have you in our grip the entire time. All we wanted was to destroy Mazeo's spirit idol, Ulrich, the final idol in all of Alestia. The sickness almost cured. I know what you're thinking, though. The vision of Valenorth? The seer saw only what the Triumvirate wanted him to see. A trick to lure every single one of you down here. It worked! And after I kill you, the seer's life and that blade will be mine. May the Triumvirate reign eternal.
Jane and Halen approach Sophie, leaving Ulrich to look up at all three. Sylvie holds out a hand to Shane, who gives him his dagger without hesitation. Pressing it up against Ulrich's throat, Sylvie pauses, savoring the fear in his eyes.
I'd ask if you had any last words, but you don't deserve the satisfaction.
Not so fast!
Not so fast. Everyone quickly turns to look as Pro runs from the tunnels. Runs in from the tunnels. He pants heavily, having clearly run a large amount. He smirks.
Alex, do it now!
A few moments later, and an army of pirates floods in from the tunnels. Sylvie, Halen, and Shane are quickly become defensive, trying to fend them off. There was enough now that they stood a chance. Their targets were clear. Using the commotion as cover, Pro rushes to Ulrich's side. He helps get him on his feet and finally returns to his senses.
Where's everybody else? Valessa? Fortim, the seer?
Ulrich looks down at the floor ashamed.
It's too late.
He places a hand on Ulrich's shoulder. Shaking his head, he knows that Ulrich is wrong.
It's never too late. Come on, let's take them down. They won't get away with this. They can't.
Ulrich smiles and nods. They quickly rush into combat. Things were starting to turn around. They were no longer outnumbered. Sylvie, however, uses the commotion to sneak deeper underground. While everyone was distracted, his objective was clear. Ah, I wonder if that's what it is. Grizz carries me and Demix to the room behind the war table. The massive spirit idol glows and radiates energy. It's beautiful. Though through my faded vision, it only appeared more surreal and odd. He carries me to one side of the room and rests me down. Sets me down? I notice that an arrow in my chest is gone, replaced with bloodied wrappings. He must have treated me during the time I just... He must have treated me during the time I just lost. But what about Demix?
There were some supplies back in the crew quarters. I was able to treat your wound. No vital areas were harmed. It's almost like he did that on purpose.
I was gonna say, that seems like purposeful,
Unless
though.
you got really lucky.
He sighs and looks back at Demix, who he had rested down on the other side. Why is he using rested?
But he wasn't lucky. I'm sorry, Seer. He's gone.
No.
But we can still fix this. This is what I've been wanting all along. A chance to tap into that idol's power.
He looks at the blade on my back. Reaching behind my shoulders, he undoes the scabbard. It falls to the ground. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath.
Please, let me take your blade. This is the deal I made with Domek. To free the spirits from those suits of armor.
I look up at him confused. Pain courses through my body, and I tremble. I grab the scabbard and hold it tightly in my hands.
Please, Seer. There isn't much time. 20 years ago, I led the occupation with Sovi. The people I killed, they're trapped in those suits of armor. If you give me the blade, I can use the power of that idol. I'll release those spirits. I'll give them the freedom they deserve. I need to do this. It's the only way I can make up for what I did. And without the Honor Guard, this battle is won. Your allies can easily fight against Sophie and his men. There's still a chance to win here. We need to take it.
He looks down at the floor, and his ears fall flat.
I know why I recognized you and your friends back at my office. During the occupation, there were people that looked just like you. I was just following orders. Trust me, I regret what I did.
How can I stay angry at him when he's making this face? Wait, does he mean...
Your parents, they were in Museo during the occupation, right? It's more than coincidence. This must be happening for a reason. They aren't dead, Seer. They're trapped in those suits of armor.
I noticed the glisten of tears forming in his eyes.
Sent there by me. Let me free them, Seer. It's what they would want. It's what they all want.
My grip on the scabbard tightens. He killed our parents? I can tell he's truly sorry. No, this is just too much to take in. The pain in my chest gets more intense and I wince.
Here, I've got you.
He wraps one arm around me, slowly helping me to my feet. Together, we take slow steps across the room towards the idol. I look at Demix's body in the corner of my eye, still and lifeless.
I stopped serving the Triumvirate the moment I got the chance. Being forced to live in those suits? Forced to wear their colors? Nobody should have to suffer such a fate. We can fix this.
As we get closer to the idol, the earth starts to shake. There's a massive reaction coming from my blade. Grizz holds me tighter, and as the tremors get more intense.
I picked up some information when I served the Triumvirate. That blade has the ability to bend its power to your will. It all depends on what the wielder wants it to do. They want power, and so it gives them an army. We want freedom, and so that's what we'll have. Please, Seer, let me do this. It's all I ask.
He's some guilty man, cross-eyed and everything. I mean, this is definitely more the face of the guilty man, but each step we take causes emotion to well up within me. This is all too much. It's all happening too fast. No matter how hard I think, I have no idea what to do.
I know it will kill me, but I've come to terms with that. It's a fitting punishment, considering what I've done.
We reach the idol, and I'm almost blinded by its light. I can understand that Grizz wants his redemption, but his crimes against the world and our families were awful. I could always tap into the power of the idol myself. How would Valessa and Fortin feel if I sided with Grizz? Some crimes aren't forgiven. Is this one of them?
Please.
The idol yourself. I'll let Grizz sacrifice himself. I suppose it was. He truly felt bad for his actions in the past. With a slight nod, I hand him the scabbard and he smiles.
Thank you, Seer. Stand back. This could get dangerous.
Doing as instructed, I stand there and watch him act. I need to back against the wall, since the pain is so intense. Without spiritual energy inside of him, the blade would kill him quickly. I'm glad that he thought it was a worthy sacrifice. Freeing the spirits and destroying the honor guard in the tunnels? Huh? The tables would be easily turned. We'd come back from this defeat. He hesitates.
So I guess this is it.
He closes his eyes.
I'm sorry, everybody. I hope you can learn to forgive me. In your final moments, know the Triumvirate will fall.
In your final moments. I see him take the blade out of the scabbard, but after that I see only white, that blinding light. Grizz grunts, clearly overpowered by the blade. The ground begins to shake even more. It's worrisome since we're in a cavern. If it caved in, that would be the end.
You're free now. And so am I.
The light slowly subsides and my eyes start to adjust. Then, when they do, I see Grizz dead on the ground, clutching the blade. The idol starts to flicker, its light slowly going dim. Was it over? I slowly walk over to him, but the tremors continue. With a violent shake, I'm thrown on the floor. Crawling over, I do my best to reach the blade. Will the honor guard fall? Was this truly the end of this nightmare? I hope that's the case as I arrive at the blade. Stabbing it into the ground, I slowly use it to help myself up. It's hard because of the tremors, and I almost lose my balance. But with enough effort and strength, I'm finally back on my feet. It doesn't overpower me like before. This time, I expect different. Like Grizz said, it bends to the will of the wielder. Everything has changed. I put the scabbard back on, but hold on to the sword with a slight grin. I am in control of it now. I stand there using the blade. I stand there using the blade as a crutch. With the ground shaking so violently, it's hard to stand up. I'll need to go back to the atrium. They need to know about this.
No! What have you done?
Sophie charges into the room, catching me completely off guard. He stands there, panting, looking at the idol, and how it flickers. With a grunt of rage, he starts running at me, ready to attack. Because of the trembling earth, however, he stumbles a bit. I use this to my advantage and jump out of the way. Landing with a quick roll, I'm back on my feet. We circle around each other, both hesitant to attack. I hold out the blade as if to threaten him.
There's so much you don't know.
He smirks and lunges forward to attack me. I hold out the blade to guard myself, but I'm not sure what happens next. With a snap of his fingers, mid-lunge, the blade suddenly vanishes from my hands. A few moments later, I realize it rematerialized in his. Ah, so he's, what's-his-face from Skyward Sword. Girahim. I don't have enough strength I do not have enough time to brace myself. It's already too late. Moments later, I'm on the floor, with Sylvie on top of me. Oh, whoa. So he can wield it, just like the vision showed me. I was right, he is also old as shit and a powerful being. That's what I thought. My sword now. He's on top of me with the sword out. Gripping the blade in one hand, he uses the other to punch me, dick, repeatedly in the chest, causing my wound to open more and bleed. I kick and scream in agony, trying my best to withstand his harsh blows. He is smart. Soon enough, the pain is too much to fight back. I can only squirm and wince underneath him, enduring the assault. The cavern starts to crumble, and pieces fall from the ceiling.
There's no one here to save you, Seer. Your life is mine, and the rebellion is no more.
I'm assuming this is all a vision. Smirking, he lowers the blade into my neck.
May the triumvirate reign eternal.
I use all of my strength to reach up and grab the blade. Trying to push it away, I realize there's almost no point. But soon after, the blade reacts to both of our touches. Maybe it's not. Another flash of white light engulfs the entire room. The pressure is relieved from my neck, and I hear Sophie struggle. Just like Grizz said, the blade reacts to the will of the wielder, but whose will is stronger? I raise up my other hand to grab the blade as well. I close my eyes and focus with every fiber of my being. Spirits, please do something. Save me, save us all. The light subsides and I see Sophie looking down at me in shock. I can see the horror in his eyes, but I have no idea what just happened. Perhaps the blade gave him visions, like it did for me back in Valonorth. He panics and throws a blade on the ground.
So it is true. The spirit realm is...
Slowly standing up, he takes a few steps back. Looking down in my eyes, I can see sadness within him. So many conflicting emotions, all in a span of a few seconds. He scoffs and turns his back to me.
Remember my mercy, Seer. Next time, you won't be so lucky.
To my complete shock, he simply runs away. I tilt my head to the side and watch him leave. The blade rests beside me, so I reach for it. But any hope of salvation is quickly lost. It's over. As soon as Sophie leaves the room, it starts to cave in. Rubble and debris block the exit, leaving me trapped inside. I look over at Demix's lifeless body and start to cry. My wound bleeds profusely and my vision slowly wanes. With my final moments, I grip the blade and pray for help. But before I slip into nothingness, that help never comes. Game over. Ulrich and Pro stand back to back, destroying the honor guard with ease. The pirates, on the other hand, keep Shane and Halen occupied. They were starting to come back from this. They could survive.
Another one down. Come on, Ulrich, pick up the pace. If you lose this, you'll never hear the end of it.
Ulrich takes down 4 suits of armor in one swing of his sword.
Oh, we're keeping count. Then I think Alex and his crew are winning. But at least now we know who Damek chose.
They look over at Alex, who fights off Halen and Shane. He's an expert swordsman, one of the most impressive in the world. Moments later, him and his crew have the enemy surrounded. Hane and Shaylin pant heavily, worn out from the intense fight. But they look around them at fallen honor guard, realizing they're outnumbered. The initial strike was devastating, but the rebellion was slowly bouncing back.
Where's Sovi?
I think he's gone to the idol.
Then that means...
Before he can finish talking, the ground starts to shake. Everyone is caught off guard, stumbling around.
It does! Shane, retreat!
But Sovi.
He'll catch up later. Let's not do anything stupid.
I see. So this was happening while all that was happening. That makes sense. Jane nods and they start to run away. They were cornered near the tunnel, so it's an easy escape. Ulrich and Pro slowly march over, standing by their pirate allies.
What should we do?
Oh,
Should
right.
we chase after them, Ulrich?
I forgot you're aggressively red.
No, let them go. We can't risk being led into another trap. They hit us too hard. We need to mitigate the damage.
They nod and back down.
We're a team now. We're here to help. If there's anything you need us to do, just say it. We owe Damek everything. He changed Mazeo's future.
Thank you, Alex. I have a feeling there's a lot of work to do. But before that, let's take care of the honor guard.
Roger that.
Yeah, I did too. Like they said Alex, and I didn't connect the dots until I saw him. They all turn to face the suits of armor, but they're shocked. The honor guard remains perfectly still, not moving an inch. The continued shaking of the ground causes them all to fall over. Hitting the ground, they shatter to pieces like an army of glass. A brittle flash of white light emanates from the crew quarters. Along with that, the earth trembles with more intensity.
What's going on?
Cave-in.
It must have something to do with the idol.
But they said
I think I saw
Bollocks. But they said Sylvie was down there.
I think I saw Grizz carry Damek and the seer down there. Sylvie wouldn't want this to happen. So that means...
they're still alive!
They must be. Come on, let's go. Alex, man the tunnels.
You got it.
They start running towards the war room, but don't make it very far. Ulrich stops in his tracks as he notices movement in the corner of his eyes. Valessa and Fortame, they were still moving. They must have survived.
Wait! Hold on! Pro, look!
Ulrich pants, and they both make their way to Valessa and Fortame. Crouching down, Pro offers his hand to Valessa and Ulrich to Fortame. They help them get to their feet, and they look shaken and
What
traumatized.
happened? How did you survive that?
He was totally convinced that you died. I can't believe your luck. I'm surprised.
They both look at the ground, almost as if they're ashamed.
I thought they were going to kill us. But they didn't. I don't really know what happened.
Ah, the spirits of their parents held back.
They didn't attack us. They pushed us to the ground. It's almost like they wanted us to stay out of harm's way.
So they played dead.
Yeah, we wouldn't have stood a chance in combat. I don't know why they wanted to help, but they did.
I think I know.
It was our parents.
Never mind.
She quickly changes the subject.
Where's the seer? Ulrich, take us to see him.
Right, of course. They must be by the spirit idol. Damek too, it's not that far. Follow me.
Deciding not to question Providence, they all follow Ulrich. In a time like this, it was best not to doubt your blessings. However, Valessa remains a few paces behind, thinking.
Mom? Dad? Thank you.
My vision slowly fades back in. Much to my surprise, I have been on the verge of death for what seems like an eternity. I'm strong. My will and the power inside of me refuse to give in. We are determined, one could say. Pain radiates from the wound in my chest, but I'm almost getting used to it. Sylvie's attempts to make it more fatal had clearly failed, or did they? I remember the thought I had in my mind the moment I faded away. I wanted to be saved. I wanted to make it through this alive. Could the blade have that much power? Could it have saved me? I back myself up against a wall and lay my fingers against it, and then I scanned the room. Wait, what's that? A hulking shadow is on the other side of the room, whispering to itself. But Demix's body is still on the floor. Who could it be? I look at the exit of the room. It's still caved in. Impossible. There was no one else in this room with us. My ears perk up. They must have heard my movements. Oh, their ears perk up. Quickly turning to face me, they take heavy, slow steps, stumbling from side to side. It's almost like they can't balance. I can't see their face. My vision is too blurry. But when they make it to my location, they kneel down. Well, normally I would be frightened. I seem to feel at ease. Ah, you're the last one. You have the homophobia in your eyes too. Tex showed me the cat that has homophobia in its eyes. I think it's just somebody being dumb because the cat has heterochromia, and I think they just used the wrong word, so that's like the meme of it. What are you? They reached forward and placed a hand on my chest. I hadn't realized it, but in my confusion, the pain had stopped. Or was it even there to begin with? Maybe I just felt it in my head. They let go and shake their head dismissively. A flicker of light from the dying idol illuminates their face. When I see them, I ask who they are, but I get no straight answer.
Gaze into the abyss, after a lifelong journey, and plead. Beg for the answer to your most undying question. And tell me, what would frighten you most? Being left in silence, or hearing an answer?
Bruh, you got the quote wrong. You gaze into the abyss gazes back. I don't understand, and I shake my head, but something tells me that they look familiar to me. I'm too delirious to think straight, so this thought goes nowhere.
The pursuit of an answer is more defining than the answer itself. For no truth can compare to the truth we've conjured in our head. Hearing an answer may rob us of purpose. We prefer silence.
Christ. Okay, we have entered Matrix 2. Or wait, was the Matrix extremely philosophical and preachy? Or not preachy, but stupid? I think it was the second one, right? Because the first one was well received, right?
But sometimes, the silence can be maddening.
We
can convince ourselves that purpose is not important, self-destructive. Purpose breeds strength and victory.
Can't think of the word. Shite. The way you're talking is maddening.
We desire victory.
Are you the living embodiments of the spirits? He stands up and holds out his hand. I grab it and he pulls me to my feet. This is the first time I truly see him. He's covered in scars from head to toe. It's almost as if he endured torture or something far worse. Tattoos adorn his arm, much like those on Ulrich's body. Who was this?
We need no name. A name defines an individual. We are many, and therefore cannot be defined. This body is merely a tool. It bends to our will.
Did we just create the spirits in a physical... Did we give the spirits a physical form?
We know how confused you are. It's always the same. Come with me. There's still much we need to do. Domic, right? That's the name of your leader?
He turns around and looks at Demix's body.
You said that name in your sleep. You called out to him, but only we responded. He lives. We took care of that while you slept.
This would have been so much better if this was like a vision and then we could avert it. This pacing is awful. Like, I understand that everything was going way too well and something bad had to happen. But somehow, when the bad thing happened, it still happened just way too quickly. This is weird. He's alive? I look over and watch his chest move up and down. He's breathing. I'm almost in disbelief at this. What happened?
We will tell you both. There is much to discuss. With the exit cut off, we have sufficient time. A funny concept time. Perhaps another day.
We walk over to Domik, and the mystery man takes slow steps again. His limbs appear stiff, as if they've been unused for a long time. I kneel down and shake Demik softly, placing my hand on his shoulder.
He should have been awake by now. His wounds were grievous. He was saved. We were limited, but we did what we could. Rise.
He says this in a demanding tone, and Demik starts to move. His eyes slowly open, and he looks at the both of us as he comes to.
Sailors? Am I dead? What's going on?
I'm trying to think of what Milos looked like, but I cannot remember. Does he look like this guy? Oh, that was a corruption ending, I see. Okay. I don't remember what Milos looked like. What's going on? I laugh softly and tell him he's not dead. That he seems to have me confused with Silas. Silas. Wait. His eyes are fixated on the mystery man as he says the name. I take a few steps back, confused and scared at the same time. Could it possibly be? No, there's no way. This makes no sense.
How are you alive? How am I alive?
This isn't right. Silas was dead. Your elder, the rebellion's founder, or our elder?
Silas, the name of this vessel. He no longer lives. Do not use this name. As we said before, no name is required.
Bruh, he was, like, not conscious for that. Give him a break.
We simply exist.
Demix and I look at one another, utterly confused.
Please explain. I don't understand.
The man points to the center of the room.
You will have a seat. You may be satisfied. Nor perhaps not. We have some answers, but not all of them.
Like, the reason why I feel like it just went bad too quickly is now we just have Ex Machina here, right? Oh, everything that did, every horrible thing that we just did in the last 5 minutes is just completely undone. Because we went too far with it. This segment just feels off. I reach down and help Demix get up. Help Demix up, he grunts. There are no wounds on his abdomen, there's nothing. This would require some serious explanation, and fast. I take Demix over to the center of the room and we sit down. The other man, however, walks over to the exit and inspects it.
Trapped, as always. Do you trust your comrades? We think they are your only hope.
If they survived...
Yes.
He walks over to our location and sits down. I guess all we could do was wait to get rescued. The Rebel HQ was full of digging tools, after all.
You will ask, and we may answer.
He sits in silence and waits for us to make the next move.
Who are you?
The idol is no more. Its energy was released. It may still glow, but it will soon go dim. Lifeless. Energy must be stored somewhere. Less wasteful. Much
right,
went
the
into
spirits.
that sword you carry.
Although, to be fair, they say
Some
we.
of it was used to heal your wounds. The rest? Well, we found a vessel to use.
A vessel?
Right, because he was buried under it. That... okay.
This body expired long ago. It offered no resistance and no identity. We thought it would be fitting. We desired a voice.
Who is we?
The spirits, you dum-dum.
We are what you call the spirit realm. Until now, our power was stored only in objects. That, and vessels which had their own voice. Like you.
He looks at me.
So, let me get this straight. The power released from the idol healed us, and it took over Silas's body so it could talk.
Correct.
So, I'm talking to the spirit realm right now.
A portion. The rest resides in his body and the sword. However, the spirit realm is just a term you created to define us. We are more than that, and we finally have a voice in your world.
Are you nude? He has pants, okay. Good thing those pants held up for 20 years. No, wait. It was only a few years ago. Even still, though.
Are you peaceful?
That is a relative term.
Are you going to hurt us?
I don't think so.
No.
What is your purpose?
An
ASL.
impossible question. Do you know your purpose?
Dick.
No, I guess not.
We only wish to aid you. Please do not question. It would please us greatly to see the triumvirate fall. We are their victims, just as much as you are, Domic.
Victims?
Yeah, they're
You do
abusing
not
them.
know the truth of what we are. It is understandable, because we could never tell. Using this voice, we wish to make our suffering known. And using this body, we wish to enact our vengeance. If this is acceptable, we will join you after rescue. If rescue comes, that is. Until then, we talk.
Demix nods. He's taking this very well, actually. After all, he is talking to the corpse of his former leader. But a strategist needed to adapt to it, to change and overcome it. Or maybe he just... I guess at some random point, Demix told Pro that we had sided with the pirates. Unless Pro just ran to and talked to both of them and say, hey, who got accepted? So how would he know? Plot holes. Or maybe he's just numb from the trauma of the event.
Of course, but you need to explain. What is the truth of the spirit realm? Were we so wrong that you needed a voice?
We do not blame you for your interpretation. Given your situation, it made perfect sense. But yes, you were wrong. Very wrong.
Me and Demix look at each other once more. I'd never believe this if we didn't just cheat death. But given the circumstances, we can't deny the truth. This was a living embodiment of the spirit realm. Much like the idols, but able to talk and walk as well. And if that was the case, then there were no more secrets. He would tell us everything about the spirit realm, the undying question of our history, finally answered. What was their purpose, and why did they influence us? The answers would change everything, forever. I don't know why, but for some reason, Spirit Realm... I'm assuming it's just like used in another game or something, but it sounds really familiar. Unless I'm getting confused with Shadow Realm. I don't think so. Okay. We're on 5? No, we're on 6. I kind of want to see what happens on the other line. Eventually, ending up in the war room, everyone looks around frantically. It wasn't much longer until they noticed the back corner of the room was caved in. Rather than digest the current events, they searched for Demix and the Seer.
They must be down with the idol.
Can we even get down there?
Go back to the crew quarters, Fortin. You too, Valessa. Bring us some equipment. We should be able to reach them if we dig.
Something something, maybe we're Jesus? I don't know.
Of course. What should we look for?
Pickaxes, shovels, stuff like that. Anything to help us get through that rubble.
Definitely not very happy with this chapter. Ugh. They had Shane set up. Like, they had a setup for him to not be stupid. But then they threw it away. And then everybody died. But then turns out they didn't. Because... Ugh. Because there's more to the game and you can't kill everybody off in Chapter 3. That's why. If you want... Because now this is going to make the game just feel like everybody's just invincible. Ugh, this is weird. This chapter is very, very bizarre. I didn't think I like it.
Right.
They both run off in search of supplies. Meanwhile, Grizz is just haunting the text window. It was clear the tunnels caved in, but how bad was it? They cling on to the hope that everybody survived.
Hey, are you sure you don't want to join them? Shouldn't they have some sort of protection?
No, everything will be fine. Alex and his forces are on guard. Nobody else will be coming or going.
Then what about Sovi? Do you think he's down there?
Probably.
No, he's probably long gone.
But I didn't see him run off anywhere. We were all in the tunnels, weren't we?
That's the point, Pro. You don't see a man like him. He comes and goes as he pleases.
Is he actually just Magic Man?
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Maybe that's my big problem with it. Like, what really bothers me is he had the journal that said, like... Yeah, like, in his journal, he even admits that they already had information on the layout of the castle. And that was the point that Sovi sold Shane on to betray him. He already knew that they had that information. He was looking for something different. So there was a setup there that he was pretending to be angry. But no, then he still went and killed Demix. I mean, Deus Ex Machina aside, he would be dead. Like, it's just like... They had the setup there, but then they just threw it away. Because they wanted I guess, a cheap emotional gut punch in the middle of the game. I just feel like if you're going to try and pull character deaths, you need to, like, 1, make them permanent, and 2, like, develop them long enough to have weight, and don't do stupid stuff like that. I don't know. Like, if they wanted to pass this off as a vision, then that would be interesting. That said, that would definitely get old. Just seeing characters constantly die just to be like, oh wait, that was a vision. Also, if he was truly that pissed off at Demix, why did he stab him seemingly multiple times, 1, 2, and then hold back? Because, you know, he said he was an excellent archer. He probably did, like, non-lethally shoot me to not kill me, but since what he just did to Demix, that doesn't make sense. Shane sucks. I guess that's the point of my TED Talk, is Shane is poorly written. He is a bad character. He crosses his arms, both confused and concerned.
What should we do while we wait? Are you sure you don't want me to help them?
I'm certain. We need to talk, Pro.
About what?
Demix is dead.
Let's say Domek did fall in combat. What would we do then? What's our next step?
I don't want to think about that. Losing Salus was more than enough. I'm sure he's alive. We'll find him.
That's the second time they've had a word, in this case a name, that the voice actors say differently. A lot of them agree on how to say whatever the fuck. Now he's saying Salus. And, like, Salus makes more sense than Silas, but...
But what if he's not? We need to think, Pro. Things would be in our hands.
Our hands?
Yes, we'd be the new leaders. How would we come back from this?
I don't know if we can.
That's why I sent those two away. I don't think they'd be ready to hear this. There's a very real chance that the seer is dead. If that's the case, then there's nothing we can do. We'd never be able to win this war conventionally. That blade in their power was all we had, Pro.
I don't know,
That was our one
I
shot.
feel like they're alive. They wouldn't give in so easily.
I guess we'll find out.
And we need to trust in the spirits, right? They showed Domik a vision of our victory.
But they also showed Valinorth's destruction. We know that was false. They attacked our HQ instead.
Are you saying the spirits were lying?
I don't know, Pro. It's too complicated for me to say.
He does not have enough
Something
int.
tells me that we can't trust the spirits anymore. If they come out from that tunnel, it'll be as changed men.
Oh, that's actually the background of this computer. I had to make it not dust because it was confusing me too much. When both of my desktop backgrounds were the same. Oh my god, I don't think that game made me cry, but it made me very sad the first time I just quit the game without having Nico go to bed. After that, I did not do that. It made me so sad. And then I also looked up the original version of the game. He just straight dies. And it says, "You killed Nico. This is your fault." And then closes. Meanwhile, Yoshi was brutal. I think after I restarted it 5 times or something, it gave up, or maybe I deleted the save. I don't remember. That I did not fuck up when I played it back in the day. Oh, did you play the OG? Oh my god, that reminds me. Markiplier played the game and he kept quitting out on Nico. Because, content creation. I just remembered that was a thing. I'm sure you probably could have noodled your way around and redid it, but yeah. The mysterious man takes a deep breath before starting to talk. Demix and I sit forward in awe, almost in disbelief at the situation. The spirit realm was using a vessel to speak directly to us. I'm not sure if we should be honored or terrified.
The rulers of this world, the triumvirate.
Yeah, that's what I
Already
thought.
You take up arms against them. This is good. We were unable to do so in our current state. We were trapped.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's probably kind of hard for a game like that to, get away with that without having the ability to manipulate things, but... Actually, I'm going to go to the bathroom before I continue this important conversation. Bathroom completed. Water acquired. Story continuing.
Trapped?
It all happened in the blink of an eye. Our glorious monarchy, destroyed in an instant. They showed no mercy. They showed nothing. Something happened. Something beyond words. We were simply living life, and then we were not. They forced us to watch them defile our world.
I don't understand.
Neither do we. But that is what happened. They stole our future. And our bodies. We were prisoners, bound by celestial chains as they had their way with our world.
So they didn't create Alestia?
Clearly.
No. But they created you, the new residents of Alestia, built in their image of perfection to counter our corrupt nature. They stole our world and our future, handing it off to you.
Our corrupt nature. I wonder if corruption is good in this sense, then.
This is incredible.
We do not share the same opinion.
No, I meant the story. I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. We always knew there was more to this world.
This is why we needed a voice. We've suffered for eternities, unable to speak, forced to watch, and cry for help upon deaf ears.
I have a few questions.
Of course.
So, the spirit realm is more like a prison, and it held you and your people captive. Then what are these visions and idols all about? Almost all of our culture has been built around them, especially Valinor, which is where the seer comes from. Rumor has it that the Triumvirate wanted to destroy the idols.
He'll destroy the spirits, right?
Over time, we were forced to adapt. We changed. The idols are a manifestation of our desire to reach out. They gave us the ability, however minimal, to speak with you.
So there's what's trying to
The
define
visions, you
them.
mean?
Yes, but our power was limited, and we were censored. This is why we could never tell you the truth through visions. Whenever we did, the Triumvirate made you see something else.
That's what they did this time, then? We saw Valinor getting attacked and strategized about that. But it seems like their plan was always to attack us down here.
Indeed, which is why we chose not to create another idol. Instead, we chose to influence the members of their honor guard, the barracks, the living quarters, the weapons. We did it all for you. We did it so you would survive this trap and help us seek vengeance. It seems the cost was dire, but we succeeded. We shall succeed again. We wish to aid your assault on Balteus and take back our homeland.
So, you come from Balteus?
We lived all over Alestia, but Balteus was our capital. The castle there housed the monarch, our king or queen. We may have been corrupt, but we lived in peace. We were happy.
What do you mean by corrupt?
We are not certain. Perhaps there is inherent evil in all of us. The Triumvirate deemed that a flaw, and rewrote the world. When your kind was first made, you were mindless slaves, forced to carry out the Triumvirate's bidding. No free will. That is a gift we gave to you through the idols we created. Slowly, our corruption merged with the purity of your kind. That was the first step. After that, we created seers, beings capable of hearing our plight and leading insurrections. To this day, all have failed. We were not strong enough.
So this world is like... Yeah, so this world is like in those like animes or other like maybe JRPGs would be accurate, where like the villain's like, this world is corrupt and people have free will, we need to make it an age of beings that are completely obedient and don't think for themselves and are lifeless beings, etc., etc., etc. This game is when those guys win. First one that came to my mind was Tales of Symphonia. That's I tried super hard not to say lifeless beings, but that's what they did. Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old game that's being re-released on the Switch. At the end of it all, it basically just boiled down to we're half elves. People were racist towards us. So to deal with racism and deeming them all evil, we just take away everybody's free will and make them lifeless beings that just mill about. This game is when that entity of wanting to cleanse the world of its impurities. This game is when they win. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in a lot in this game. I feel like what happened here is it's a pretty exactly pretty goofy. I feel like they like wrote out that first part or like the first two acts and then got to like act 3 and like how do we move the plot forward? And then they just like cranked it up to 12. I will say like God, it just comes back to Shane. Well, I've already had this TED Talk, so I'm gonna move on.
Wait, I know where this is going.
Man stands up, motioning his arms to suggest that we do the same. Demix and I both do as instructed, dusting ourselves off while looking up at him. He's pretty tall.
Yes. That is why we gave the seer all of our power. Enough to wield that blade against your creators and our captors. The timing seemed correct. It is a gamble, but with favorable odds. However, there is another matter at hand. There is no more spirit realm. The idols are all gone, and the power resides within us and that blade. The power within you, Seer, is immense. You carry on our legacy. So now, I will call you what you are.
He immediately kneels down and looks at the floor. If I wasn't mistaken, it looked like he was swearing fealty.
Rightful heir to the throne of the monarchy,
Oh.
my king. I will serve you in this fight to take back our world. And together, we will all be free from their grip.
King?
We exchanged glances, confused and shocked. The power inside of me made me heir to their throne? Knowing the truth of the spirits was enough. This is too much. I take a few steps back, overwhelmed. How could I possibly be expected to process this?
Maybe we should slow down here.
We must not. To slow down would be giving them time. They've had enough. We've watched for far too long. The weight of our kind is upon you. Do not let us down.
Before I can even react, I hear a sound from the other side of the room. The rubble that blocked the exit started to crumble and fall to the ground. I can hear the harsh impact of a pickaxe. They found us! The man remains knelt on the ground. I tell him to rise. He obeys without question, clearly respecting my authority. He considers me his king. I have no idea what to do or say.
As you command.
All of us turn and look at the exit. This isn't much. It isn't much longer until the light pierces through. The final bit of rubble is out of the way and Ulrich emerges.
Domek, we were so worried that you...
He immediately stops in his tracks, staring at us. It is clearly that he's shocked at the sight of Silas, whatever the fuck. Fortem, Valessa, and Pro enter shortly after.
What?
Grizz is still haunting the little here. Into shock. Oh, it does have a nice ring to it. Ulrich steps forward, immediately cautious. He looks ready to grab his blade at a moment's notice. I can understand how his confusion and Jacques manifests this way.
At ease, Ulrich. I'll try my best to explain.
Demek steps forward too, as if to guard both of us.
Everybody, let's go back to the atrium. There's much to discuss, and I'll tell you all the truth.
I'm dead, but I'm not. He looks over at the mysterious man and simply gulps.
Things just got a lot more complicated. For all of us.
This is eternal. I am eternal. I wonder how the fight would have gone if I had sided with Kitty Pirate. I wonder if they would have just like immediately overwhelmed them or something. We all entered the atrium and I noticed Ulrich is still visibly shocked and angry. Wait. If I can be king, Queen Benoy. Oh, yes. Ulrich seems shocked and angry. Rose seems the same, however is less intense. They seem to recognize Salus. Even Valessa and Fortim seem anxious. Are old and very dead elder alive? Bodies scattered the floor, as well as pieces of white and gold armor. Rebels cry, cradling the bodies of their fallen comrades in their arms. There weren't many people left standing. This was a catastrophic attack. Troop morale 0%. The price of faith. Demix walks over to a nearby staircase and waves me over, and Salus. We follow after him and slowly ascend the stairs. It was time to tell everybody. When we get to the top, he rests his hand on the railing, taking a deep breath.
I guess this is it. Where do I even start?
He shakes his head before clearing his throat. He had a lot of ground to cover. The noise echoes through the atrium, and surviving rebels turn to look. Seeing Demix at the top of the stairs, they gather to listen to their leader.
They say that mercy is the mark of a great man. But there are no great men in war. We've seen that here today. War is only a game to see how much you can lose before giving up. But trust me, we will never give up. Join me, brothers and sisters. Grab a blade from the floor, even if it belonged to their honor guard. Take it. I'd prefer that. The Triumvirate may think they've crippled our resolve, but no. Each swing of that blade will carry the weight of our fallen comrades behind it. We will use that weight to crush their army and make them pay for this attack.
More rebels start to crowd around, looking up at Demix. They have smiles on their faces as they nod along to his words. This inspires him to continue his speech, and his morale is rising quickly.
When the Triumvirate looks down on that blade in their final moments, I want them to know that they sealed their own fate. Mark my words, family. The Triumvirate shall fall. They will burn for what they've done here today. And in the end, they will beg for the mercy they were too unkind to give to us. We will free this world from their grip and deliver it to the hands of the righteous. Our dynasty will be marked with blood, yes, but theirs was marked with far more.
He looks over at Salus and motions for him to step forward. Doing so, a lot of rebels shocked, much like Ulrich and Pro.
The Spirit Realm has given us one final blessing. The truth. Standing here before you is not Salus. He has become a vessel. This is the Spirit Realm embodied, powered by our underground idol. Driven by the howls of countless spirits, he seeks vengeance. But he has also brought with him the answers to our every question. No longer shall we live in the dark. We know the true nature of things.
Everyone mumbles amongst themselves, clearly confused. I glance over at Ulrich and Pro, and they seem a bit more calm. As odd as this truth was, they seem to trust Demix no matter what.
We are not the only victims of the Triumvirate's wrath. The Spirit Realm is not what we believed. Not at all. What we cherished and worshipped was a prison. A prison to house the previous residents of Alestia. Residents that were deemed too corrupt by the Triumvirate. As they were pushed aside, we were created to serve. The Triumvirate did not create our
Lost
world,
also did that
but they
corruption
did create us in the image of perfection. We were pure, and existed only to follow their every order. But over time, the previous residents reached out from their prison. Growing in strength, they created what we called the spirit idols. These were used to slowly give our people the gift of free will. Though pure, we lacked the abilities to be ourselves. This was the greatest gift we could ever ask for. They opened our eyes, allowing us to fight back. But so far, every insurrection has failed. This is what we will change, thanks to the seer.
He waves me over and I take a few steps forward. The rebels stare at me with hope in their eyes. A perfect counter to the despair I saw earlier. Alright, we're Danganronpa
The
now.
spirit realm is no more. All of the energy in that realm has found a new home. Some of it is in this vessel, and some of it is in the blade. But the largest portion resides within the seer. That is why he is uniquely capable of wielding the blade.
But what about
Alestia's previous residents, the ancient monarchy, are responsible. They saw a
wonder if they
way to
created
help us
them.
defeat the Triumvirate and took it. But you see, we no longer fight for ourselves. We fight for everybody. If we lose, both us and the monarchy perish. We cannot let this happen. We are the only people capable of carrying out this objective. There won't be another chance. No more seers, no more blades. We will show them that their vision of a pure world is flawed. But, in order to do so, I must step down as the general.
Oh no.
You see, this army is no longer mine to lead. I'm sorry. This new truth changes both the world and our cause.
Oh no. Oh no. I knew it. Demix motions for me to come closer, so I do. He smiles. I'm standing right beside him, resting my hands on the banister. I see such a wide array of emotions coming from the rebels' faces.
As I mentioned, the seer was blessed with immense power. But what he truly has within is the souls of the monarchy, giving him the strength to use that blade. He is our champion. But he is more than just our champion. He is our king, rightful heir to the
General
throne of
King
Alestia,
T'Challa.
our true ruler. By decree of the spirits, we are his to command.
All eyes are on me now. I glance over at Valessa and Fortame. They are in complete shock and awe at this revelation, but I am too. Without saying anything, I reach back for the blade and pull it out. I look at the rebels and hold the blade up in the air. The beams of light from the surface serve to illuminate its beauty. It elicits rigorous applause from the rebels as they cheer me on. I smile, looking down at my friends and comrades. 5%. In this moment, it seems like the hope we'd lost finally returned. There was still lots to take care of, but we knew that this wasn't over.
If you'll excuse us, we need to make some new plans. But I'll have an itinerary posted in the barracks by morning. Until then, please do your best to clean up this atrium. And please, bring the bodies down to the spirit idol. It seems only fitting, and there's plenty of room. With that said, you're all dismissed. Thank you.
That seems like a dumb idea, because the entrance to the idol is in the room we're going to be making plans in. So people are going to be constantly walking in and out. Demix turns to face me and Salus. He smiles, realizing his job is done.
Well then, back to the war table. We need to talk about our next step. Without a bigger army, we won't win. And I think I know what to do. Come on, bring your friends too. I'll grab Ulrich and Pro. Let's do this.
Let's do this. Something seems different about Demix. He's not as happy and energetic as he was before, but he seems a lot more confident and resolute. When I get to the bottom of the stairs, Celeste and Fortame appear. I can tell that they're overwhelmed, but they also seem happy for me. They seem to disregard the resurrection of Salus and focus on me.
I always knew you were special, but a king? And no more spirit realm. What's going to happen?
That is so cool, Seer! Or, I guess I should call you King now. Or maybe Monarch? I don't know, it's just cool!
Happy Bun. He laughs and shuffles in place awkwardly. That turned Demic from bottom to power He laughs and shuffles in place awkwardly. They may not want to talk about it, but they know. Everything feels off right now. Things are so confusing.
I hope that we can work all of this out. Let's go plan our next move with Dominic. I
Proud of
wonder
him.
what he has in mind for us.
Experiencing death, I think, will just do funny things to people.
I bet it's something amazing. He might not be the leader, but he's still a strategist. We need to make sure that we come back from this loss.
Valessa looks at the bodies on the atrium floor. It's also covered in blood, likely to stain for a long time. If Salus could come back from the dead, what about them?
Yeah, we can't let their deaths be in vain. Like Dominic said, they need to give us strength. The only thing we can do is hope that it's enough.
Meanwhile, we all arrive back at the war table, taking sighs of relief. Demek's speech was great. It helped the rebels find hope again. But they need more than words to win the upcoming battle.
So, we need to find a new army. But recruiting Mazaeans would take far too long. We need to take drastic measures and fast. This is where my initial plan comes into play. We can use that spiritual energy to create seers. They could see the outcome of every battle, every attack.
That doesn't make any sense, Damek. Visions lied to the king, led us into a trap. The Triumvirate could just do that all over again.
He called me the king. He called me the king. Okay. We've already switched to doing that now. I notice he uses my new title. It still feels odd. That's exactly how I felt. I'm relating to my character.
I'm not sure that's how it works. Beforehand, the visions came from their prison. That means the Triumvirate could tamper with the outflow. But now, all of that is in the hands of the king. There's nothing more getting in the way, see what I mean? The power of the spirit realm is now ours to wield, Ulrich.
That still doesn't make any sense. The spirit realm isn't what we thought it was, Damek. It was just a prison. How can that help us tell the future?
Before Demix can respond, Salus steps forward.
That was our culture. We all had this ability. It is how the monarchy lived in peace and prosperity. There was no danger left unchecked. No chance. The world was being guided to the one true future. It is not unlike the concept of fate that some believe in, but it is tangible. We knew where we were going. Always. That is why the Triumvirate was such a shock to us. An unknown variable in a future we completely mapped out. It was too late to adapt. We were already shackled. We slowly learned to lend our foresight to your world. However, we were only strong enough to help one individual. This is the concept you have learned to call the seer, or seeress. Domek's theory is sound. There is no longer any interference. The source of this power is now the king, rather than a prison. He can freely give this power to any individual he pleases.
Can he give it to himself?
We would not recommend this course of action. Every vision he induces would reduce his overall strength. It would whittle away at the monarchy, slowly killing us all.
Aww.
Furthermore, he does not know how to ration this power. He could end up expending almost all of it with a single vision. We would recommend giving a small portion of power to others. However, they would be rendered useless after this war. Using this power would be too much for their mind.
Useless?
Convenient.
They would be unable to think for themselves, or at all. The king could only do this because he grew up with that power. Just like our culture. To receive it too late can wreak havoc on the mind.
So they'd just sit around until they died?
Unless you fed them.
There must be another way. Just look in front of you. That energy could be used to bring back the forces we lost. We could create more vessels for the monarchy. More soldiers.
You want to do that though? Ulrich was right. There was more than one choice here. Oh no. It wouldn't be right to condemn our people to a zombie-like existence. If their minds died out after the war, they'd have no victory to enjoy.
We would not advise this action. We can barely maintain this form. The wounds that ended Salus are burning, as if freshly inflicted. It is only tolerable because of the immense power within us.
So heal them, forehead.
Lesser beings would be feeling eternal pain, and death does not come easily to a vessel like this. Wounds endured during the war would add to this pain. We would not wish this punishment upon anybody. Life in eternal pain, a constant memory of their own death. They perished for your cause. Give them the rest they deserve.
I don't know. An army of seers would be great for strategizing, but stealing their own future from them? That's wrong. On the other hand, bringing back the dead? I'm unsure.
The pain would fuel their rage and make them stronger. They could eventually learn to manage it with medicine. At least they'd have a future. The seers certainly wouldn't.
There must be something else we can do.
Can we just, like, take the power back?
Not if you wish to make use of this power. It is powerful when used, but limited in scope. I will help the king carry out whichever he decides.
Angry to die again.
Right, I guess it's not my place to choose. Sorry, I must be still adjusting to this change.
You made the change. Suddenly, all eyes are upon me. I have no idea what to say or do. Eternal pain or robbing futures? Creating seers would ruin their minds after the war. They'd just sit in a chair while we fed them to remain alive. But an army of vessels, they'd feel nothing but excruciating pain. And not even death would come free to them. Not even death would come to free them from that pain. The body could just get ravaged, but the power would still be inside. If only it were possible to cure them of this pain and after the war was over. Or, for that matter, I wish it were possible to preserve the seers' minds. But neither option has a foreseeable cure. This is a choice involving the war. We needed an immediate boost in forces, and it seemed that no cost was too high. What should I do? Oh, you get to ask them. Another important choice. What do you say?
I'm sorry. I don't know.
I bet Fortune's gonna say the same
really
thing.
Can't help you this time.
You're asking too much of me. Sorry. This isn't something I could possibly decide.
Make your final choice. The choice will affect the future of Alestia. This definitely seems like the worst option. Because at least, like, with the army of seers, they do eventually just die. Just create a big bomb. Just spirit bomb them. Eternal damnation versus temporary damnation. That's kind of how I'm seeing this right now. I think the temporary damnation. Life or death? An army of seers would be the most useful. With foresight, they could dodge every attack, and that would be essential as we attacked Bolteus. They could help us strategize as well, but their true use would come on the battlefield, calling out attacks and preventing ambushes. I make the choice known to my allies. I met with uncertain gazes as expected. There was no right choice in the situation.
Very well.
So, there we have it. What happens next?
I will take the king to the idol and help. After that, we must all convene in this war room. A strategy is required for this newfound army.
They all nod and step closer to the table. I follow Salus out of the room and carry out my duty. As we leave, I can hear them planning, and I feel hopeful. Troop morale plus 5%. We will turn this defeat into a most profound victory. Under my leadership, we would witness a triumvirate fall. see. Oh, it hasn't updated yet. I follow Salus back to the room with the spirit idol. It's dark and dim, with its dead and with its death and monarchy. Wait, with its death, the monarchy was imprisoned no more. However, existing within vessels and the blade was that considered freedom. Oh wait. However, existing within vessels and the blade was that considered freedom. I wonder what would happen to the monarchy after this war. The bodies are likely gone. What would become of them? I wondered if there was a way to reverse everything the Triumvirate has done. But there's no time to think about that. It's time to create our army. Much to our luck, before we began, Milas arrived at the Rebel HQ. Oh no! Alongside him was a massive amount of people from Valenorth. His evacuation was successful. This meant far more soldiers. Why are they all immediately willing to fight? And it also meant a large number of volunteers. Knowing the importance of being a seer, they wanted to help. I suppose it was only fitting that we kept this tradition within Valenorth. But part of me felt bad. I was doing this to my own people. They were made aware of the repercussions, but still agreed. That made me feel a bit better, but didn't relieve me of the guilt. It was just like I thought. The blade is an extension of the wielder's mind. Valos told me how to wield it, and I rested the blade on the volunteers. Almost like a knighting ceremony in the stories of old, I declared them seers. But he also told me that the effects wouldn't happen immediately. They'd need to be watched carefully for the next day or so. When their powers kicked in, they could act irrationally. After that, we make our way back to the war table. I can only hope that things go as planned for our future. When we arrive, we see it seemed like Demix already had a strategy. Right, save. Oh, we got purity. Interesting.
Absolutely not.
I did save in the right spot, right? Okay, yeah.
Ulrich, we have no other choice. Our forces require more than one major boost. Going to Alarinthia, we could convert them to our side.
They don't want to be converted, they want blood. Plain and simple.
Yeah, so we give it to them, forehead. What about Vivian and her army?
Who?
It's not a book, it was a flyer. I tell him about the flyer I read at the tavern. It was like a newspaper or something. In Alarinthia, there's also a rebellion of sorts. A group who wants to change the way it's run.
I've never heard of this.
Apparently they follow after ancient ideals. An Alarinthian legend that wanted to change the nation. So far it seems like none have been strong enough to do so.
He is the legend. That's cute.
It's because strength always wins. Plain and simple. And with strength and power, they don't want anything to change. They only want to secure their own rule. Alarinthia is always the same.
Well, the mainland has never reached out before, right? If we team up with them, yourself included, we could win. If that's not possible, then maybe we can cut a deal with Draku.
Draku? He wants nothing more than to flex his power. He may rule over Alarinthia, but he's no ruler, trust me.
Well, I think we have a good opportunity for him, actually. What better way to show strength than to dethrone gods? There's a couple of avenues to take here. We need to do this.
Oh boy, I feel like there's another important decision.
Excuse my lack of enthusiasm, Domek. I think there are more pressing matters at hand. We still need to decide what to do with him.
He tilts his head towards Silas, who shakes his own head in return.
We require no maintenance. We simply wish to fight and teach. Our legacy demands to be passed on.
There you have it. I don't think there's anything we can do. He won't be of any harm to us, right?
That's what we thought about the Honor Guard. Are you really going to gamble on the spirits again? What if there's a chance he's just lying to us, Dominic?
He brought us back from the dead.
We have no reason to lie, and we do not appreciate this accusation. Using the Honor Guard, we fortified these tunnels. It is thanks to us that you survived this ordeal. Many of our citizens were sacrificed in order to do this. Controlling the Triumvirate's forces was taxing, to say the least.
Then why did they kill almost all of us during the attack?
Our control was strong, but not strong enough. It was easy for the Grand Inquisitor to overpower us. Until today, he had never set foot in these tunnels. We do not mind answering questions, but we do mind being accused of wrongdoing. Everything we've done to help your cause.
To what end?
The Triumvirate's end.
Ulrich concedes, simply shaking his head. It seems there was a counter to all of his objections.
I think we should just trust him, Ulrich. He's answered so many of our questions. Things make more sense now, wouldn't you say?
He does not respond. However, Fortem steps forward.
What should we call him, though?
We do not require a name.
You might think that, but you still need one. It's out of convenience, not necessity.
Convenience?
Yeah. Nobody really needs a name. It just helps us talk to one another, you know? It's especially helpful in battle, or while strategizing.
Very well. We will think of a name.
However, before much time passes, Valessa interjects.
How?
Oh, that's what. Oh, okay. Yep, that is his name. I saw it on the trading cards. Thank you, Steam.
Huh?
They're the whales of the dead.
That's what Dominic said, right? Driven by the howls of countless spirits. It seems fitting, given the circumstances.
Valessa,
We accept this moniker. However, we must discuss another matter. This strategizing you speak of, we wish to help.
That's my job, actually.
Too bad.
And look where it got you.
Oof.
What?
Your blind faith in spirits caused all of this. Our judgment will not be clouded. We wish to take your place. Remember, you are no longer in charge. This is the king's choice.
I didn't make that choice. Hal turns to face me.
We wish to be your advisor, Monarch.
I'm sorry, I
Watch
have to
this
choose
world
Demix.
for almost an eternity. We
I'm to take
know
the
how
spirit
the
realm
enemy
to the
works
TMV to
and
get him an
thinks.
ID card. There's no cars here.
It would be the wisest course of action. Dominic is responsible for this catastrophe. He would be unfit to give you advice in the future.
That is absolutely untrue. In this world, we learn from our mistakes, Howl. We don't condemn others based on bad decisions.
Perhaps that is why you are easily oppressed.
Ooh, he's mad
There
now.
is no room for error in these final days. Perhaps in the future, you can atone for this.
I can tell they're about to get locked into a heated argument. To avoid this, I slam my hands down on the war table, startling them. A loud echo reverberates through the room as I assert my authority. As he always has. I mean, this is a pretty easy decision. Demix. Past or present. I let them know that I want Demic to be my advisor. I agree with everything he said, and I still don't really know how. Being an advisor required both knowledge and teamwork.
Very well.
He's not happy.
Thank you.
They stared at each other with evil eyes. I could tell the animosity was growing between them. Oh no. However, this was neither the time nor the place for that.
Those matters aside, we still need to make our next move. There's an upcoming ball in Alarinthia. It's held annually. The palace is open for a few days only. We can go.
Well, then what's the point of having an army? Wait, hold on. Put it with you. We said cancel them for them. Wait, what? What? Who's getting twit-longered here?
It's likely that Vivian will make a move against Dracu. If she does, we can use that as an opportunity to form an alliance. If she doesn't, then we can seek out an audience with Dracu.
Alarinthia. Okay, I just had the wrong place. Okay. Named Twitlonger by how? How though? Like, he just got revived. There's no way he knows what Twitter is. Yeah, he... Oh my god. I already Twitlongered Shane. I did a verbal Twitlonger for him. Also, is my mic too loud? 'Cause I do see that it keeps peaking when I speak sometimes. I'm gonna do that. I think that should fix it, maybe? Or, well, change it.
Either side would have a wealth of forces to offer. We need their aid if we're going to win the final battle. I'll get the boats ready. We can leave tomorrow morning.
Okay. I guess I will revert it. I just, like, I look over from time to time at OBS and I just see it peeking up towards the red. And, like, I mean, that doesn't seem good. But I guess if I'm not overtly loud, then I guess I'll leave it.
I'm sure Alex will be able to give us a capable ship. If we're going to make this ball, we need the best of the best. Ships were part of our terms, so I'm sure he'll be able to comply.
He gathers up some papers and starts to walk away.
Meet back here in the morning, all of you. We can go over any last-minute stuff before we leave. The rest, we'll have plenty of time to discuss on the voyage.
We all nod at one another before leaving the room. Leave the room? I'm thankful that I'd be able to get some sleep, however little. I make my way back to my room, constantly checking my back. They'd never catch us off guard again. Morale plus 5%. Next time we fought, it would be their end. Hal has now permanently joined the party. Okay. I'm curious. Oh, now Demix is haunting. Alright, save. I'm curious. How many people? Okay. Well, after the initial drop-off of 30% people after the first act, it seems to have kind of stabilized. I hope so. There's not been a lot of music in this game. Hey, there we go, we got the full cast. What is he? What is Milas? I don't remember. For some reason, I feel like he was like a danger noodle or a lizard. Oh. I made it back to my room, let out a loud sigh. I can finally relax. As short as my rest would be, it was better than no rest at all. I noticed I was followed, but I expected as much after what just happened. It was Hal. He approaches slowly, with resolve in his steps. However, he doesn't seem angry in any way. That was good, since I sided with Demick.
We must express displeasure at your decision. Domick made a mistake, and remains unpunished. The lives that were lost beg for justice. We are that justice.
Domick was only believing in the spirits like we all do. Now that we know the truth, he will approach things differently. He would never intentionally lead us into danger. He's honorable.
Honor?
Oh, I said those to him, okay. He crosses his arms, unimpressed.
Honor is a term used to stay the hand in difficult situations, Monarch. When the final drop of blood must be spilled, and your honor stops you, what then? Is the future of our world on the shoulders of those so weak?
He scoffs.
Do not concern yourself with honor. The enemy does not, and this is why they win. Concern yourself with the correct actions, not the right ones. That is all the advice we have for you today, Monarch. But we do not trust Domic to make the right decisions in the future. The fact that he left the Honor Guard alive is proof of that. He hesitates. This hesitation will not go away simply because he knows what we are. The truth of the spirit realm does not change strategy on the war table. With that said, we will leave you be. Ruminate on this in the future, my king.
Let us think over. He gives me a slight bow as a sign of respect before leaving. Being the Exodus wielder was intense enough, but being the monarch, thankfully I had the support of my friends. They would keep me strong. We drew a smiley face on our hands so we know we're always together. I lay down in bed, and it isn't much longer before I drift off to sleep. When I wake up, rested and refreshed, I head to the war room. Everyone is there, as expected. It's time to get things moving. My friends are my power. There's just a sword on the table, I just noticed that. Demix approaches the war table, fiddling with the wooden figures resting atop of it. On top is not one word. Or am I dumb? I'm assuming it's not one word. I'm assuming it's 2 words. I mean, bullets. My power is gun. So, this is Persona. They represent different things. The figure for the rebellion he places on Alarinthia. Our next objective was clear. We'll be sailing to the far east to secure an alliance.
Each year, Dracu holds a ball. Essentially, it's to show off his power. It's open to the public, which means Vivian will likely make a move. I'd say it's either an assassination attempt or a tournament request. During the ball, we will meet with both of them. Our goal is to secure an Alarinthian army to help us out. If we do this, our chance of success will increase tenfold. Each party, if they're willing, will likely request something in return. It may be impossible to avoid being caught up in Alarinthian politics. If it comes to anything extreme, we will have Ulrich help us out.
He's just going to pout.
I trust there are no objections?
Nobody raises a concern, but I can tell Ulrich is upset.
We will set sail immediately
Yeah, see, I
after
told
this
you he's
meeting.
doubting.
I've already arranged transportation with our pirate allies. It's a 24-hour voyage, so pack your essentials. Food and drink have already been pre-packed. None of us should go hungry or thirsty during the trip. And there are enough beds for us all to sleep, too. The voyage will be a nice time to get some relaxation in. However, once we get to Alarinthia, we have to be serious. Our success directly affects our odds of surviving this war. We've ensured that our comrades received a proper burial. They're resting with the spirit idol, and we'll close off that passage. For their sake, please leave it undisturbed. They deserve rest.
He inspects a piece of paper in his hands before continuing.
The volunteers from Valinor are starting to have visions. They will accompany us to Alarinthia and help our cause. Thankfully, there were no side effects or losses.
Good.
We have our army of seers, Monarch. Hopefully, you'll get to meet them soon.
He's calling me Monarch
With
now.
all of that said, I think it's time to end this meeting. Are there any questions before we head to the shipyard? Remember, once we leave, we may not be back for a while.
Sportame steps forward.
What exactly happens at this ball?
I'm not sure. Dancing and feasting, I'd imagine. Dracu wants to pamper everybody he can. That's his goal. If his people are happy, then there's less fighting over the throne.
So, basically one big party, then?
Correct.
Awesome. The last party we were ever going to have was cancelled. Let's say we finally have your induction ceremony, eh, Seer? Except now it's not for being a Seer. It's for being a king.
We all nod at each other. It's true. My last ceremony was cancelled. Oh. I'll play the dance scene for the bun. But I don't think it's going to be canon to this playthrough. Is that acceptable? We all nod at each other. It's true, my last ceremony was cancelled. It was Dracu's party, but we could celebrate for our own reasons.
Just try not to draw attention to yourselves, alright? It may be a party, but
This cannon
Alarinthia's
in my
fate will
heart.
change behind the scenes. Remember why we're there, and don't lose sight of our original goal.
Of course.
Portem steps back, satisfied.
Why didn't Vivian make a move at any of the other parties? I guess I mean to ask, what makes this year special?
She's finally amassed enough support.
What if we go there and she ends up doing nothing?
If that happens, then we focus on Dracu. At the end of the day, we still have an option. We're just planning for many possible scenarios.
I'm curious how this would have played out if I had chosen Howl. I feel like we'd still be going down this path. So him getting upset just doesn't make sense. But I mean, I guess that's kind of neither here nor there because game.
All right.
Valessa nods for curiosity sated, and there is a brief silence and no further questions.
Very well. Dismissed. Let's pack our things and meet at the docks. We'll set sail in 3 hours, so don't be late.
You'll be late. With that said, almost everybody rushes out of the room, except for Hal. He stays behind and eyes me down. Before I get ready to leave, I ask him what he wants.
We've been given a room in the crew quarters. Please stop by and see us before you leave. It is important for us to learn more about you.
He bows at me before leaving.
Until then, Your Highness.
His hand is huge. He was definitely taking this monarch thing seriously. But given his culture and the power within me, it makes sense. I take one last look at the war table before heading out. The war table is used to track your relationships with each character. The amount of hearts indicates how many heart-to-hearts you have completed. When a character's heart gauge reaches 4, you can click them to access a special scene. These scenes are required to earn each of the characters' loyalty. The loyalty of your followers affects both morale and their fate. Oh no. Do not neglect heart-to-heart conversations or the special loyalty scenes. When you wish to depart for Alarinthia, return to the Museo docks. A new map icon will display by the ship at the front of the shipyard. As I think everybody should be at 2 except for Fortum. So you get 4 and then you do 5. Hey, we get freedom. I'm so pissed off. Alright. I guess it doesn't matter how they go, you just have to do them. And I'm assuming I can't miss them as long as I'm, like, at the very least, like, nice to them. Parallel Chronicles, Sovi 7. Sovi and his crew quickly made their way back to the docks. Hiding in an alleyway, much like before, they gathered their bearings. Things hadn't gone according to plan, their true mission was a failure.
What happened, Sovi? I thought you had everything under control. Get in, kill the seer, and destroy the idol.
It's not that simple, Halen. I tried my best, and it wasn't a total failure. We've dealt them a blow from which they'll never recover.
And you think the Triumvirate will be okay with that? They don't tolerate failure. I'll get dragged into this too. I don't want to suffer due to your inability to succeed, Sovi. Let's not even mention the Blade of Exodus. You just let them walk away with it. I can't believe you were so foolish.
Don't worry. We'll get the job done. They'll be happy enough with Damek out of the picture. It'll buy us time while we formulate another plan, Halen.
If you're lucky enough to get another chance, you mean. You'll need a pretty good excuse to get away with this.
Sovi sighs, looking down at the ground.
I hesitated, Halen. I had him in my grasp, and I hesitated. There was something in my head saying not to kill him. The same instinct I always listened to and am praised for. That instinct has yet to let me down. I feel like he was meant to survive this battle. We'll have more chances to kill him in the future. Besides, with the condition I left him in, he'll be an easy target. Next time we cross paths, even a child could take him down. This isn't as bad as you think, Halen. Today, we won.
For your sake, I hope they buy that excuse.
Huh.
No, Halen. We must never tell them the truth. Tell them the seer slipped through our grasp. I trust you to keep this silent for the time being.
You want me to lie for you now?
It's for the best. Just trust me. I would do the same for you, Halen. Together, we will acquire any lost honor.
Fine, but next time I'll watch you. If you can't finish the job, then I will. There's no place for hesitation in a time of war.
Sylvie nods and Halen walks away. This leaves Sully alone with Shane.
So, how are you feeling?
I'm fine.
Fuck
You
you.
look conflicted.
I said I'm fine.
Fuck you.
Look, you killed Dominik, Shane. I can understand what you're going through.
Oh, can you?
Yes, I did the same thing in the past. Before I joined the Triumvirate, I killed them all. Liars and cheaters deserve no less of a punishment.
You looked so sad, though. Like, how do I know what you said was true? A face can say a lot more than words ever can.
He was sad because he got caught, Shane. He thought you were dead, so he didn't expect it. You rose from the grave to deliver your vengeance.
You don't deserve a
That is
redemption
an
arc, Shane.
opportunity
Fuck you.
He shall never have. He didn't hesitate to send you to your death, remember? There's no reason to give him a courtesy he never gave you. Offering that olive branch is a good way to get yourself killed. There's no going back now, Shane. You're one of us. After what you did, you're their enemy. For good.
Huh?
Yes, but you are no longer an enemy of the Triumvirate. They will sing your praise and give you your every desire. The victory of our battle was all thanks to you, Shane.
I'm not sure how to feel.
Yeah, so I said you look conflicted.
Sometimes you need to act rather than react. Push those feelings aside and focus on survival. There are many rebels who will seek you out for revenge. And I expect you to show all of them the same treatment. Welcome
Inquisition?
to the Inquisition, Shane. The right side of history.
Okay. Let's see. The crew quarters. Everybody's is done. Hello there. Heart to heart with Shane, or Hal. Number 1. I enter Hal's room and I notice him standing with his back to me. He is in the corner of the room with his hand pressed against the wall. He's mumbling to himself. I do my best not to startle him at all.
Bodies everywhere. Screams for help. Blood flowing. Corpses held tightly in their arms. They cry for the lost. But the lost do not answer, for they have no voice. He feels shame, like he's responsible for all of this. But soon after, he feels nothing at all. Until he rises again. Vengeance controls his mind. It drives his clouded judgment. We see the future, as expected, but also the past. We see your death, Monarch, even if it didn't happen. Why does time play such tricks on our memories?
He turns to face me, so he knew I was here all along.
Are these memories, or perhaps echoes?
Echo.
That is what I wish to talk to you about, Monarch. Our mind is overwhelmed, but not in the usual sense.
Tell me more, I'd love to help.
We expected you to say that. We've heard it before. It's almost like you had no other choice. Interesting. Things are different now that
All
we're
right,
free.
you're getting a little meta here, game.
So different.
You literally had no other choice. What are you getting at? Button save over this? Yeah.
Exiting that prison has taken its toll on our minds. And there, our sight was limited, but not anymore. Instead of just the future, we see everything.
And it changes nothing.
We see the past, and consequences of actions not taken. The possibilities are infinite, and this is hard even to fathom. We must narrow our vision. These details are unimportant. We may not be of much use at the moment, Monarch. It will take some time to adjust to these new circumstances, if we choose to adjust, that is. Further evaluation is required.
We knew you were going to say that. Everything is important to consider, even if it didn't happen.
We see a past where we failed to save you, Monarch. You fell to your wounds, and Alestia had no hope at all. Domic, too. The failure of the rebellion was certain. Pirates rushed to help, but not led by the same leader. Ulrich sacrificed himself to use the blade and create an army. The Monarch vessels, or perhaps the created seers.
Now I'm super curious. If I did it here, is that the outcome? Ulrich dies?
Why do you say that seeing these things is important? It is death and carnage, the loss of all hope, and ultimately, death. Only one thing remains constant in all of us, the Blade of Exodus.
Learning from the past failures is how we become stronger and smarter.
We saw you say this as well. It led to ruin. Our culture was always focused on avoiding the wrong future. We've never thought about seeing numerous versions of the past. But we are sure that we see these things for a reason. Perhaps there is a secret to find, or a link hidden between them all. As we travel, we will do our best to learn more about these visions. We simply wish to make you aware that they exist. It is the opposite of everything we've ever encountered. But at the end of the day, so are you. A huge anomaly.
I'm not sure what he means since he speaks so cryptically, but he's having visions of different pasts and not just the future. And that would be jarring to me as well. I only ever saw the future. But it was almost always a future that we wanted to avoid. How could you see a different past? That was always set in stone. Let alone past so different as to detail the deaths of my comrades. There had to be a reason. He was right. But it's unlikely that we'd find an answer anytime soon. You'd have to put up with this burden for a little bit longer.
It pains us to see visions of your death, Monarch. Future or past, it is something we wish to avoid. You carry our legacy. You are everything to us.
Aww.
We request some time alone, if you'd give us the honor. We will do our best to focus on more positive things.
He turns back to the wall and places his hands upon it.
Sharing an apple in a back alley, a growing bond. Alcohol brings forth childhood dreams, dreams of change. You grow close to a comrade, despite their two-faced nature. A man seeks family to replace the one he never had. There is a girl who finds the strength to succeed in her friends. We wonder where we fit in amongst this group. We hope we can.
Let's see. Oh, Pro. Pro's the one who doesn't have a family. That's right, he said that. And I guess the two-face thing for Demic does make sense, since that is what he said. He basically admitted to, like, faking it till he makes it. He has to put on the front of being the leader. Who finds the strength to succeed in her friends. What does succeed in her friends mean? He looks down at the floor and I take a few steps back. For now, it's probably best to leave him be. He seems overwhelmed. In his situation, it would probably be best. I would be as well. He has to process a lot of new information. I can find my place in all of this. If I can find my place in all this, so can he. Perhaps we'd have more time to talk on the boat ride. I leave for the docks, confident to help him more in the future. I'm super curious. I really want to know how this goes. Yeesh. I need to know if Ulrich dies here. Nope. No, I couldn't let him do this. My reasons were my own. I shake my head and hold the blade closer to my body. He sighs and looks down at the floor, defeated.
Very well.
He lets go of me and I start to stumble. I use the scabbard as a cane to hold myself up. I can tell that he's angry, but also that he understands. I expect him to fight me for the blade, but he accepts defeat. Turning around, he stares to walk away, his shoulders slumped down. This was my job, this was my destiny, to harness the blade of Exodus. I couldn't let others use it to assist their suicide. Turning to face the idol, I slowly remove the blade from the scabbard. Remembering Grizz's insight, I try my best to bend the blade to my will. This time, it wouldn't overpower me. It would help me save us all from this massacre. A flash of white light. The flash of white light that I expected is nowhere to be found. I can hold the blade with no trouble, just like I desired. So it was true. The blade is mine to control. With a wide smirk, I hold up the blade to the idol. It was time for me to destroy all the honor guard in these tunnels. It was my time to free the souls of all of the condemned, our parents too. This desire in my mind sparks the blade, and the white light fills the room. But there's another desire too, the survival of Damek, and our future victory. Okay, I kind of like how this is going a lot more. The ground shakes more violently, almost causing me to fall to the floor. But I stand my ground. This was too important. The survival of the rebellion and Alistia's future was on the line. I am too overcome with hope to falter. As the white light slowly subsides, the idol starts to flicker, like it's running out of power. Did I do it? I guess there's only one way to find out. I put the scabbard back on, but hold on to the sword. I am in control of it now. I stand there using the blade as a crutch. While the ground is shaking so violently, it's hard to stand up. Oh my god. Alright, so this is all the same. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess that's just different then. Mostly the same word, soup, I guess. Yep. I like the bit, though, where I'm, like, showing resolve. I might keep this. I don't know. Feels kind of save scummy, but at the very least, I saved my bottom. Beep.
Who?
Beep.
Hmm?
I could have Hal do it. This is the alternate future. Okay. Now we will load. I'll leave that for later. Although I'm dumb. I should have done the other thing. But then the bottom will cry. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. You appointed Domik. He uses spiritual energy to create seers. You let Grizz have his redemption. You wonder if Grizz will pop back up. I don't think there's any more to do. Oh, no. I need to go... Where's the arrows over here? Back to menu. Next. The docks. You'll be unable to return to the mainland until after Act 4. And knowing this, would you still like to set sail? It doesn't matter that much. I'll go ahead and save, but... But if you choose the bottom... Oh, yeah, I know. That's why I didn't choose Hal. That's why I chose Demic. I don't want to make my bottom cry. I make my way to the ship as Domik instructed. Everyone is already gathering around. Am I late? Before long, I'm spotted by a few of my friends.
Hey there, Monarch. Glad to see you made it on time.
Why are they
They're
taking...
just about ready to leave Mazeo.
Why are they taking to calling me Monarch now, not King?
I'm so excited to see what Alarinthia is like. I mean, except for the heat, of course. Yikes. But I guess there'll be plenty of time to adapt.
I just kind of had the thought of maybe doing something else. This is like a good place to start. Maybe they'll just switch up titles and stuff. I don't think anybody has called me King in like the last number of dialogues. Like they only called me King a couple of times. Ever since then, it's just been all Monarch. I know. Let me see. Need to switch this over. Oh, there's Friendo. That's what. See what he has to say. You are determining the fate of the stream, Tak, but you don't know it. I'm working with someone on matchup stuff right now. Oh, okay. With your stream in the background. Hahaha. Oh, hi, Tak. I'm probably going to be doing this for a while. Ah, okie dokie. I could always just grind tower by myself. And be bad. Man, a lot of things have like opened up to like what I can do. Because I'm not particularly limited by having one PC, not being able to play game. It's just that gaming thing where it's like there's a bunch of things I could do and I end up doing none of them because I don't decide on any of them. Oh. I never did play Dust this week. The gears be turning hard. I can't do everything. I think I will. I think I will swap over. So we will leave this conversation here, because this is a pretty good stopping point.